So the captains are out, just about to do the coin toss. So let's jump to that. My other commentator's here, so we can introduce ourselves. So I'm Steve Price. I'll be doing most of the play-by-play commentary today and interacting with you guys. If you drop comments, I'll read them out if they're good. Might even put them on screen. And I'm joined by Tom Evans. Tom, how are you doing?
Is the mic on? You're good?
No, it's not on yet. Give me a sec. There we go. His mic's just coming on. There you go.
Perfect. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom. I'll be with you today with Steve. Looking forward to a good game today. Both sides seem pretty confident, so looking for a really good start to the first game of the year.
So just waiting for the decisions to be made. It looks like the Knights won and deferred. Let's just see. So yeah, Knights will receive. So yeah, left to right as we film from this side of the pitch. The Knights will be getting the ball first, or as long as there's no recovery from the other team. But all things being equal, yeah, really interesting to see this game. You know, it's the first game of the season. I always say it typically takes about 2 or 3 games to sort of settle and figure out who's good and who's not, but also in that time the teams actually settle and you tend to find some shock results mid-season. But Tom, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah,
these two teams.
I completely agree as well. You know, it's quite a tough turnaround. You know, start in February, got to get a lot of practice in to be up and game ready by week 1. I think I'm really interested by this Portsmouth side. You know, I think they've recruited really well over the off-season. They've brought in a lot of talented players. They've got a good little bit of experience in their side, so I think it'll be really interesting to see how they go up against the Rushmoor side, who, you know, they've been to the playoffs these last few years, maybe haven't had the success they want in the playoffs. Lots of experienced players on their side with a little bit of youth mixed in there as well. So yeah, I think it's going to... I think I'd lean just towards them if I had to make a prediction.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
cool. That's good.
but,
Well, I'll back the Knights then.
Yeah, no, I think you know, if you want to put lunch on it, I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think yeah, but I'm really excited to see this Portsmouth side, and let's see how it goes from the first kickoff.
Awesome stuff. I'm just putting the scoreboard up, and yeah, let's go. Kick off. Ball in the air.
Good kickoff.
Fielded by I think that's number 85. Hard to see the numbers, they don't stick out too well, but I'm pretty sure that's 89, yeah, Godfrey. Stephen Godfrey for the Knights. So yeah, do you know what? I trained a couple of times with the Knights this pre-season, but ended up not playing, and their offense is decent. So I know that. Right? I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform. But they got a decent O-line. They got very, very experienced quarterback and receivers, and they got some excellent running backs. So yeah, I feel good on this first drive. But let's see.
Very excited for this upcoming drive.
So in at QB is Calvin Stitt. In the shotgun, takes the snap, fires the ball out to the flats. Intended receiver catches it. Good for a few yards. It would seem. There's a flag on the play. Of course. Yeah.
It's game 1, remember?
Yeah. Move back just a bit.
Really interesting to see how they came out though to start off the game with a little bit of motion. Looks like an RPO with an option to throw out to the flat there. They're able to find some space, and they've got some extra yards tagged on for the face mask. So
it was a face mask. What a penalty.
I don't think you could ask for much more opening play of the game. You know, they managed to get a nice completion, a little bit of yards after the catch, a little bit of free yards as well.
Yards after the play.
Yeah.
Yeah. 15 yards. That's it. So, but you know, from a Portsmouth perspective, not what they want on their, you know, on their first play.
No, not at all. Maybe just some nerves first play of the game. I'm sure that they'll settle into it as the drive continues.
So we've got single back, Harvey Macy in the backfield there. Takes the ball, runs off to the left. Harvey Macy, there he is, still carrying. Oh, he does step out of bounds. Harvey Macy's very young, talented running back for the Knights. He's actually their club captain this year. Puts in an enormous amount of effort in training. And you know, he's more. I would say he's more of a silent leader, but he's definitely got a voice. More of a lead by example guy.
Yeah, 100%. He's a really talented athlete. I think he went to try out for GB, didn't quite make the cut, but got a lot of positive feedback to try and maybe get himself to that next level next time.
Yeah.
I expect a really good season from him. He's got a really promising future, and as you say, very young as well.
So that brings up, he didn't quite get the first down on those yards. So second and about 1. Macy takes the ball again. They go just to the, just off tackle there, and it looks good for, we have got the signal from the referee, so first down.
Really nice job from the Portsmouth backers there. You see, tried to look for a lane on the backside, and they just came and filled that up, and they still managed to get some yards though.
Here, Dreads D has been practicing really well this season so far, so that's quite cool. So hopefully we've got, you know, powerful defence versus a powerful offence. Certainly the Knights doing well in this opening drive.
And they both play different styles as well. So you know, most teams will play a pre-season game, but you only really get to play against one sort of style of football each week. Yeah. So I think that will make it really interesting. Both offences are different, both defences are different.
Yeah,
let's see how quickly they get used to each other.
Yeah, Knights have always been a run-strong defence, but they are actually in spread, you know, double twins. So, which I don't know, maybe they're getting more experimental in their old age, which is good. But I mean, you know, the years I played for the Knights for years for those watching, and we were always like a pro set, you know.
But now we've got a little bit of trips
double
to the left on this play.
Yeah, trips out to the left. QB looks to the left, then the right in front of us. And it in and out of the hands of the defensive back. I mean, even if he did that unintentionally, it's the right result. You don't really want to catch a ball there, and have your offense so deep into the in territory. But number 34, I don't know what who that is, but number 34 for the Dreadnoughts. We do have rosters, but we've also got lots of other bits of paper.
Number 34 is Richard Blackwell, and he's played several seasons with the team. Former Portsmouth destroyer, so I'm sure he knows. He's familiar in those situations. He knows what he's trying to do when backed up this far towards his own end zone.
So same formation here. Trips to the left, single back over this side, and a single running back. Ball snapped. QB looks to his left, rolls to his left. He is a left-handed QB, which is, believe it or not, quite difficult to play against. You know, especially when I'm assuming, right? But like, if you've only ever tried making, it can really throw you when you come up against a left-handed QB. And in Calvin Stick, they're probably one of the best left-handed QBs in the country, if not the best in the country. He's fantastic.
Definitely. And it's even the small details. The ball spins differently. You know, trying to even catch that, it can take players a while that are playing with him to get used to, let alone when you're only just going up against him for one game. So yeah, he poses a lot of problems.
So we're 4th and 5 here. QB's come off, and they are setting up to get a field goal.
A long field goal from here, looking about.
Oh, and they fumbled the snap. Ball is thrown and just goes nowhere. There's a flag, and I think it was a late hit. I think it was a late hit on the throwing player.
That's what it looks like, indeed. It's not a penalty you want to be giving up if you're Portsmouth.
Well,
you know, you've done a very good.
So it's a first down, yeah.
They did a really good job after conceding that face mask early on and putting themselves in a position they didn't want to be. Made a stand against an offence that seemed to be on the ball to start off with, and then might have just cost themselves the opportunity to get their defence off the field.
Yeah, he just called roughing the passer. The ref just signalled roughing the passer. Automatic. It's a 15-yard first down penalty, and it will be 15 from where the ball is because the ball's on the 30. So anything less than that is half the distance. But yeah, they're now in the red zone, 1st and 10. Exactly what the Dreadnoughts just got themselves out of any trouble, and now they're deep in it. Really, they're looking potentially to concede points on this opening drive.
And I think this is where Rushmoor can really make a statement. It's really difficult early on in the season. Those red zone, you know, you practice your plays, but sometimes it's hard to practice that situational football. So I think if they can come out, they can put a few good plays together and get themselves in the end zone here. That's a real big confidence boost to start the game.
So double twins now. Ball handed off. And beautiful tackle in the backfield by number 47 for Portsmouth.
They were very ready for a run there. You could see they were coming downhill. They really took it to that offensive line in that first play. And now 2nd and 15. What do you do here? Do you want to take shots at the end zone while you've got some space to go?
I think on a second down, yeah. I think it would make sense.
I would be shocked if we don't see Calvin Stitt use his legs here on either 2nd or 3rd down
That's
to
not
try
a bad
and make
shout.
He's
that dual threat QB, isn't he? He can scramble. So number 42 in at running back is Aaron Sequala, GB running back. QB drops back, fires over the middle, and it is caught. by, it's not a first down yardage, but it's not far off. Was that big number 21, is it?
Yeah, it's there's a big slot receiver there.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
He's a
Oh,
massive
no, 81,
target, number
sorry.
81 over the middle. And you
To
see
show
the
you.
Portsmouth
Look at him.
defence where they those safeties, they're starting outside of the hashes. They're playing over the slot receivers. So
Yeah.
they're giving that space that they can break into over the middle. So that's something I'm really going to be keen to keep watching as we go through the game.
Josh Conlon, number 47. Thanks, someone just let us know. Ball snapped. QB keeps it as we sort of predicted. And he's got space. He's got legs, and he's got a touchdown.
Let's go, motherfucker! Yes, sir!
Big start there
So
for
no-
the Knights, taking it down the field. You could see that the Portsmouth defence, there was about 5-6 yards to go. They all came in down the box. They tried to get some pressure. They tried to fill every gap.
Yep.
But when you got an athlete like that, he's just able to take it to the edge, and they just weren't able to rally.
Even bouncing outside, there were 3 players covering him. The space, not 3 point of contact, but still he can just scramble through him. He's strong. He's quick.
Exactly.
And,
I mean, it's one thing to even get there, let alone make the tackle when you are there.
And there's the signal, going to be repeated by the white cap, and we are 7-0 after this first drive. Great stuff from the Knights.
I think it's a very interesting
And
drive. I think
really penalties with a big difference, or a huge difference maker for the Dreadnoughts there.
33 yards, 30 is a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that there are a lot of coaches who would be very upset if they gave up 2 15-yard. I think get them out your system early, they can kind of settle in now.
And that's it. Like this team, weird little penalties, and hopefully they'll start to, they'll whittle them out, ways around them, and start playing, playing it. I was going to say cleaner. It's not that they're dirty. It's just that yeah, good man. Just that they're just making mistakes. I think that's the easiest way of looking at it. Rather than they're not a dirty team.
No, I think the key thing about defence is always that trust and communication across all of the players, and I think it takes a minute to really sort of build that together. So when you've got so many new people coming into a team, it might take a little bit longer than you might hope. Maybe you're not quite ready in game 1 with all of those things in place. But I think that if they can be competitive in this game, it'll go a long way towards really sort of gelling that unit together. Let's see how the Rushmoor defence come out there.
Oh, he's still on his feet. And sorry, I was filming, and then I clocked someone running, and it was actually the ref. So I focused on the wrong person.
We've got a big return there, up to the
decent
45
return.
by the looks of it.
That's a fantastic return. You take that all day. So about midfield, the Dreadnoughts take over on offence. Their first drive of the game. Be interesting to see, this matchup. Knights defence, Dreadnoughts offence, and if the Dreadnoughts can equal the performance of the Knights offence on the opening drive. So ball snap, Jaden Ellis, the QB drops back, fires it to his left.
That's a duck! That is a duck!
And no receiver in the area. I think that might be a miscommunication because receivers wasn't even looking at the ball or towards it.
Well, Jaden Ellis has come in from the Sussex Thunder, has played there for a long time. He's a very experienced quarterback.
Yeah.
So you expect that he'll have the poise and composure to really sort of settle this offence, you hope. But obviously, as we said, he's coming in, lots of new players. It might take him a minute to really get that communication and that sort of timing and understanding with his guys. But let's see how they go now. Maybe they settle themselves in. The biggest thing here is you don't want to go 3 and out.
And ball caught in the flats. Intended receiver, I'm just trying to get his number, I think it was 80 something.
Number 85.
85. Good catch and run from him. Is it enough? I think it's just shy of a first down. You can see he was going for it. Probably about an 8-yard pickup there, 8 to 9.
Yeah, and I expect to see them try to get the ball in this guy's hands a lot. This is Sam Waters. It's his first year with the team. He's come over from the Portsmouth Bobcats, and he's a former University of Portsmouth player, University All-Star. I think they're wise to run those sorts of plays a lot. Those tunnel screens, get him yards and get him some space.
So handoff here to number 4, the running back. And he's met pretty much at the line of scrimmage, I'd say. He may have nudged just over it for a positive yardage, but it's certainly not enough to get a first down. So this will bring up 3rd down and probably 2.
Yeah, and this is a big one here. You really want to. You don't want that
Huge
defence
play.
to have to come
Huge
back
play.
on the field again. You want the defence to have a minute to rest, digest what they've gone up against, make sure that they're ready for the next series.
Sorry, it's 4. Hold on, they're saying it's 4th down. Oh, it is. Sorry, the sticks were wrong. So they're going to now punt. That was their only opportunity. That was their opportunity.
It's week
what a
one
shame.
for the. It's week one for everybody, including the chain crew.
Hey, well, and us. Normally I'm on the ball with the Downs. Call it out. Anyway, so we got number 0 here for the Dreadnoughts. He was the guy taking the kickoff, I believe.
Good kicker.
Also the punter. Yeah, I saw him warming up. He's very good. Takes the ball, gets the punt off, nice and high. Got lots of bodies down there to help defend this. And yeah, there's really nothing the Knights can do. And really nicely pinned back. You know, in a game that's where territory is so important. We'll confirm roughly once we see the sticks move actually where this ball is, but it looks like it's inside the 10-yard line. And they kick from around midfield, probably about the 40-yard line. So yeah, decent kick, a lot of hang time on it, and they were able to take control of the situation.
And this is a really interesting drive here, Steve, because backed up, this is a time where Rushmoor can really kind of show how ready they are for these kinds of games.
Drive downfield here.
Exactly. Or maybe they don't get the free yardage on this. They actually struggle to move the ball. Maybe the game suddenly looks a lot more tight than maybe that first drive suggested for both teams.
Yeah, because technically it was turned over on downs, and it was the it was, I suppose, because it was a free kick. It was a field goal, wasn't it? So they would have, if they hadn't have got that, it would have turned over on downs. But anyway,
that's a nice little drive starter though. Just a nice little inside run. Saw that there were bodies crashing to the front side. Makes a little cut backside. Just churns up for about 5 yards. That's exactly what you want here. You don't feel the end zone on your heels, and now you've got a little bit more freedom to maybe get into what your usual offense would be.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've always found it bizarre that teams choose to run out of the end zone. But I know that's the right way to do it. But you'd always, in my mind, always think, it'd be better to pass it. You get longer yardage. But teams always go for the run. Anyway, so we've got, I can't see the formation.
Trips to the right.
Yeah, trips to the right, and they hand off to Macy up the middle. Very strong runner, Harvey Macy. It's like they got, I wouldn't say that Aaron Sequala is a weak runner. But he's definitely more of a speed guy than Macy is. Macy's more someone that he'll lower the boom and take on the contact. Speak of the devil, and they just swapped out. So we're going to see Aaron Sequala on the field at least. I don't know if he's getting the ball. They don't tell me the place.
One thing I'd say from looking at these offenses so far, keep an eye on when Rushmoor went into trips. We saw early that they had that one-on-one down here and they weren't able to convert. But when they're moving to trips, Portsmouth are really bumping a lot of players across and allowing that match-up one-on-one on the backside.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see that more as we go through the game, and let's see if they're able to capitalise on that.
Cool. So we're double twins here with the tight end now going in motion to make the trips on the right. Ball snapped. QB looks to the left. To the right. Ball caught, but really nice work from the
We've got a flag on
the cornerback there. There is a flag on the play.
I think it's an offside because I imagine it would have been blown dead for a full start if somebody had jumped there.
I can't see the white cap. Where is he? Oh, he's behind the. He's behind the scrum.
22 players.
So I didn't see the signal, but I think you're right. The sticks are moving this way. It looks like it was an offside call.
Just another 5 yards. They didn't need to give to the Rushmoor offense there. They really need to start ironing these out, because otherwise, if for every yard Rushmoor gains are giving away a yard, it's going to be a very long day for Portsmouth. Yeah.
So ball snapped, handed off again. To the running back, but this time it's Sequala, and he's good for looking where the refs are stood. Yeah, 1st and 10, ball at the 30. The Knights 30 at the moment.
Started off very nicely, just chipping away. They're really forcing Portsmouth to go and plug every gap on that offensive line.
Yeah.
And you see there, they just didn't quite get the front side nice and secure, and there's just a nice lane for him to just barrel on through for about 5 to 7 yards.
Yeah. So. QB still in. Macy running back just to his left. And it is a pass. He's dropped back, scrambled, look to his left. Is he good for a yard? It looked like it was basically at the stick that he ran out. Yeah, he's got slight positive yardage, probably 2 yards there.
Yeah, and that was much better from the Portsmouth defence. You saw their linebacker, number 52, came down to that gap. He made sure to control it, so there was no way that a run was going to be able to pop through there. You see that the quarterback has to roll out, and once again, they're swarming him. They're forcing him to run towards the sideline. They're not allowing him to get upfield. That's much more of what Portsmouth want to be seeing down to down from their defence.
It's the same formation again, this time running back Macy on the right takes the ball to the left. And is tackled again. Looks like another 2-yard pickup from the running back. So, 3rd and 5.
This would be a big stop here for Portsmouth if they're able to get Rushmoor's offence off the field. We've seen that they have looked quite dangerous. I think that there's probably a lot more in the tank still for Rushmoor.
Yeah.
And you really want to see Portsmouth be able to get off the field, get their offence back on, give themselves a chance to get themselves moving, because you know, the whole time you're waiting for that first score, everyone's a little bit on edge. As soon as you get that first score on the board, everybody's just a little bit calmer.
So QB drops back, looks to his left, fires to his left, downfield, intended receiver. Oh, it's just in front of him. I think who was the intended receiver there?
That was Travis Carpenter, number 6. That's a very early warning sign to those DBs that they've got to get on their heels and they've got to get downfield. Yeah. This Rushmoor offence does have some fast receivers, and as much as they love to run the ball on those early downs, even on 3rd and 5, you know, they only needed 5 yards. They were happy to try and go all the way down the field and get it all at once, and they very nearly did.
Yeah. So, 4th and 5, the Knights' first punt. Let's see if this one ends up successful. So number 5 back as the returner for the Dreadnoughts. And ball is snapped nicely. It looks like it's shanked a little bit. The returner's there. He's got a bit of space. He does choose to go for it. Picks it up. First 2 tackles miss. He runs around the 3rd. Runs to the outside. He's got blockers. He's getting fantastic yardage here.
That's a great play.
Great return. That was about a 20-yard return for him. From what looked like a play where it made more sense to leave it, you know.
Indeed.
But good on him. Great play. Number 5. I don't know what number 5's name is. That's your job. But great play from him.
No, as the coach in me there sort of saw that ball coming in at a weird angle, people closing in. You know,
like,
everybody knows poison.
Yeah,
and,
poison. Yeah.
Can go on and try and beat all 11, you know. Yeah. But not quite all the way. But that's great field position.
It looks like a legal procedure.
The return there, Steve, was from Dejan Daxon, DG. He's been a long time receiver in their kick returner. He's also a player for the Chichester Spitfires university football team.
You're a font of all knowledge. So Jaden takes the ball. He rolls around to his left. Different for him because he's a right-handed quarterback. Throws the ball. It's caught nicely by the intended receiver, number 88.
Number 86, that looked like Harrison Cooper. So
no, it was 88, definitely.
It was 88?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much. I apologise.
Yeah. and good for first down yardage. Great first down play. Great first down play. So they're definitely deeper into Knights territory. The penalty did push them over halfway line. Just around the 35, looks like. So 1st and 10. Oh, sorry, let me do the camera. 1st and 10. Got to love DJ. People, a little bit of love for him. Fantastic play for him. QB, it wasn't a QB keeper. That was handed off to running back number 4, who was met by a tackler, but gave him probably as big as a hit, and picked up 5 yards in the proceed. So 2nd and 5. Great first down play.
Yeah, much better start to this drive. You're able to get a good chunk of yards on that first play. Nice little bit of yards in that run game there.
Jaden goes to the flats to throw to number 85. Just a little bit too high on that one. You could see he wanted to get the ball out quick, and just a little bit, just the release wasn't that accurate, but brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and it's a shame. You don't want to rush those plays. You've got offensive linemen coming out to lead block for you there on that tunnel screen. You want to just make sure that they get the ball in the wide receiver's hands there, and he can go and make those yards and let the play develop. Maybe just those early first game of the season nerves showing there potentially.
Right, so QB Jaden takes the ball. That one didn't even look like a receiver was looking at it.
No,
unfortunately.
you could.
Yeah.
And even though if you can get the ball under control, you're able to get that ball out. just felt a little bit too
fourth down.
much there, you know.
You just want, I think I wanted a bit more of a longer drive. I'm sure that's an obvious thing to say, maybe, but I wanted, and maybe I expected a bit of a longer drive for Portsmouth here. They're now going to be punting the ball away. They're going to pin Rushmoor back. Oh no, they're going for a field goal, it looks like. Well, we did talk about the leg of number 0, and they are going for get some points on the board. So this could be a scoring drive for them.
Yeah, it looks like about a 50-yard field goal from here, Steve.
Yep. And it's up.
Oh,
And it's been returned. So just shy, and there was someone stood under the stick, so by rule, and it looks like it's Godfrey taking that ball, and he gets it roughly back to where the play was, which is, I suppose, expected. You haven't got people running downfield expecting to tackle someone or field a ball. So Knights take over, 1st and 10, around the 30-yard line. Just wait for the ref. Yeah. So it's going to be on their own sort of 32-yard line now. So they do have a shorter field than their last drive. So let's see what they can do.
It feels like the game's settled a bit now. Now both teams have had an opportunity to have the ball. I think now we'll really start to sort of get into it. We'll really start to see the playbooks open up a little bit on both sides.
No, you're right. You're right. Hopefully we'll see a pass from the Knights on 1st down. And we do.
Speak of the devil.
So ball in the air across the middle, and intended receiver there, Stephen Godfrey, just a little bit high for him. He's not a tall man.
He just didn't quite seem to get the step on the safety, number 11. We saw on that play down in the red zone, number 81 was able to get his big body in the middle of the field where they did have some space pre-snap given up. And that time, same again, the middle of the field was open.
Twins, ball handed off to the left. Aaron Sequala with the ball. He's got some good blocking in front of him. He tackled for, I think it looks like 0 yards. It looked like it was pretty much where the down marker was.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, no yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, you're not really too mad about that because you're putting them to 3rd down anyway. Yeah. And you saw, once again, they did a much better job of swarming to the ball, forcing him to run down the line. He wanted to take a spot so that he could cut and get north-south, start getting those yards through the teeth of the defence.
Portsmouth defence are starting to neutralise this offence a little bit. You know, we're third and long, right, already.
Definitely.
So ball snapped. QB Calvin looks up, takes off to his right. He's got some people in front of him blocking. It looks like he's got a lot of space, and lowers the shoulder for contact there to make sure he gets as many yards as possible.
The spot will be very interesting here.
I've seen the ref signal this side that it's a 1st down. So great 3rd down conversion there from the Knights, and I would say unorthodox, but probably not unorthodox for this QB. He is someone that will take off, and he will take the game into his own hands. He's that type of player.
And you can see why. The coverage was very good. They had they only rushed 4 there, so they had 7 players protecting those 4 receivers out in a pattern. And at some point, you just got to put your head down and take off when there's nobody to throw to.
Yep. And once again, he takes off. And maybe he wants to just run this ball in himself. We'll see. But once again, you see Stitt taking off.
It is interesting though, Steve, because we talked about the Rushmoor offensive line and sort of the talent and experience they have.
Yeah.
Portsmouth defence. Yeah. They're struggling to get between the tackles. Early on in the game, we talked about how Harvey was doing a good job of being able to press through there. And now they're really plugging those gaps and they're forcing them to go outside. And that's a good sign as a DC.
So interestingly here, the QB's left-handed and the ball's on the right hash now. So I think he's going to try. I think he tried to get the ball over there so that he's opened up a little bit of space. Sequala there takes the ball, almost takes off. You can see he was just hitting stride, but really nicely tackled there by number 11.
And that's the difference right there. You see that the tackle was able to kick the end out and the linebackers weren't able to fill that gap. And when you can get between the tackles, you start to get 7, 8 yards on a run play.
And good enough there to pick up the 1st down. But yeah, you're right. But this is really good containment play from, there's no breakaway, bust-away plays here. There's been a couple of times here, which is really good to see.
I agree.
So Twins, ball handed off again to Harvey to the left-hand side. He's such a fighting, tough running back, and he takes a few of them to bring him down, but he probably is good for about 4 yards on this play.
Yeah, and if you get yourself into 1st down, and every time you're able to get 4 or 5 yards. Suddenly everything's so much easier. You can start to take some shots on second down maybe, because you know that on third down you probably feel good about running or passing. It'll be really interesting to see if maybe Portsmouth can come out and start actually trying to sort of knock them back and stop letting them get into favourable second and third down positions.
Oh, sorry, let me just adjust the camera. There you go, so you can see the play. And Stitt takes the ball, and it's a pass to number 81 again across the middle. That huge. I don't know why I'm not passing him every play. He's enormous, and he's so strong across the middle. He's just you think he reaches out. He adds probably 1.5 yards to the play or the catching zone. And these DBs, from what I can see, they're not guys. They're not. I'm not saying they're bad players. They've been really good. But they're not as big as him, and I think it's something the Knights should be taking advantage of.
And I think that the Knights have really caused a lot of problems for this Portsmouth defence. Obviously, we talked about the rushing ability of both the running backs, but also of Calvin Stitt. And you can see for an outside linebacker, that's a really difficult job. You've got your coverage responsibilities, but you've also got to be able to contain things properly. The middle linebackers have to come down and fill those gaps, as we talked about, but they've also got to be dropping into coverage. The safeties are both playing outside the hashes, so they're giving up that middle of the field space, which, once again, if the linebackers are having to look here, there and everywhere, there is a lot of space to attack there. So I think that Portsmouth are definitely going to have quite a few things to think about when they do eventually get themselves off the field from this drive.
So they're just resetting the ball the other end of the field, so we won't see the action as well. We're on the 20-yard line of the Rushmoor sideline, but so it's now the Rushmoor Knights going right to left. They take over. Oh, we haven't even got the sticks done. I was about to say, I think it's 2nd and 5 or something. But first quarter score at the end of the first quarter was Rushmoor Knights 7, Portsmouth Dreadnoughts 0. So still it's a one-score game. It's a close game at the moment. But obviously, the scoreboard says the same. But the Knights have slightly got the edge. But I think that gap, that they're losing that edge. The Portsmouth are doing well to sort of to start to figure things out and scheme against them. So I think the third quarter in particular is going to be quite interesting. But yeah, this here, and what the Knights are, if the Knights are able to punch it in, that makes a huge difference. But there's a good chance that Portsmouth will be able to stop them.
I thought that maybe a team with the experience that sort of start. I think I was maybe expecting a little bit more of that newcomer energy from Portsmouth. I was expecting maybe their defence to come out really strong on that first drive and maybe get them off the field quickly and give their offence a bit of a spark. Yeah. But so far their offence hasn't quite been able to put the plays together to kind of get their foot in this game yet.
Right, and so here we go. We're going to restart play. QB Calvin Stitt takes the ball, fires off deep to the left. Just wasn't, I don't know, it looked like the receiver saw it coming. He looked up at it and just kept running. He didn't actually make an attempt at the ball. It bounced behind him.
It can be really tough to track those because you're trying to, you don't want to drift off. Your coach will be saying, keep on your stem. You want to keep things tight. But the reason you do that is to give that space on the outside of the field for the QB to drop the ball into. So when that ball is put there, you've got to be able to adjust to it and drift out.
So I still can't see the down marker, but Stitt throws the ball out to his running back, and number 52 there, great play. I think he's a D lineman. Read the play beautifully, and met the receiver as he came down with the ball.
Yeah, that's their middle linebacker, Eddie Coffey.
Sorry.
He was the defensive MVP for them last year, and I saw him in warm-ups, and I was like, that boy is going to make some plays today. He is a big lad, and you saw him earlier on in the game. He was doing a good job when they started to adjust and plugging those gaps, and it's good to see him as well, flowing out to the sideline and making those plays out there. If you can get more of that from this Portsmouth defence, then suddenly they might be a little bit more in this game than they've shown to start off.
So it was actually a tackle for a loss. It's third down and about 12. So yeah, fantastic play there from him.
Big opportunity for the Portsmouth to get themselves off the field here.
Ball snaps, QB rolls out to his left. Again, he's left-handed, lovely play, catches the ball right at the sideline. It looks like it's good for first down yardage. We're just waiting for the signal. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a lovely classic just flood play there. They've got the inside slot receiver just ran down the line to the flat. You've got their slot receiver that caught the ball there, went beyond the sticks and out, and then they've got the outside guy running them off and go into the end zone, it's really difficult to defend because normally you've only got 2 levels of zone coverage. So if you've got 3 players fitting 3 different spots, you can't be everywhere at once. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, teams give up that intermediate area, and we see them get a first down on 3rd and 12, which is a big play for this Rushmoor Knights offense. Sorry.
Yeah, and they're now in the red zone, ball roughly on the 20-yard line. Harvey Macy takes the ball, really good, just typical running from him, just aggressive running. I actually do have a camera down in that corner, so I'll probably switch to that when they go back down there again. We'll get a better view, although people keep walking in front of it, which is always hilarious.
Welcome to Britball, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So it's 2nd down here. QB takes it, fires out just across the middle.
And that looks like a touchdown.
Does it? Yeah. It looked like both of them caught it at the same time. Like 4 hands on the ball. They haven't signalled a touchdown, they signalled a first down. So it's now 1st and goal from the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
Really, again, from our angles, it's always really tough to tell. It's basically where that ref stood. That's how far they've got to go to the end zone, 1 or 2 yards.
And you can see that Portsmouth defence has really come down to that line of scrimmage. They've got players on both edges. They're really looking to take
Macy out to the middle there, sorry, to the left, outside of the tackle, and takes it in for another touchdown. And signalled by the referee.
I'm surprised. It looked like a full start potentially there from the left tackle. He seemed to get a very good beat on the ball.
Yeah.
But no, that's really impressive. You saw Portsmouth there. They tried to get people on both edges to contain. They tried to fill every gap on the goal line. And even then, they were able to seal them inside, and they were able to get to the edge. Great running by Harvey Macy there.
Rushmoor with the widest goalpost I've ever seen. Ball is... I don't know what's happening. I'm supposed to call the play, but that was just all over the place. The ball was poorly snapped again. So this is a concern for the Knights now. We had a few issues here with the long snap in. It gets picked up. The player that picks it up falls to the ground, but before he hits the ground, passes it off to someone else who, when they catch it, gets tackled. That's what happened.
Well, it's an interesting one. I mean, so far, the long snapping hasn't been a problem on Punt because they've done a good job staying on the field.
Yeah.
And even then, you know, they're kicking for 1 point. Unless Portsmouth can start putting up some answers, the long snapping issues may not end up being an issue because currently Portsmouth are a bit slow to get themselves going on offence, and twice their defence has now been all the way down the field. It's looking rough for them to start. They really need a big boost. They need to get some points, I think, here, and this defence really just needs to get themselves off the field before midfield.
That's a great point because, yeah, you don't want this to happen, but the game could just get away from Portsmouth now. You know, 2 scores down, they need an answer. They need to get points on that board now. Yeah, you're absolutely right. At least, well, I hope they do score because that means it's this end zone that we're in. Number 5, oh no, sorry, number 34, the furthest man back to receive for Portsmouth. And he does take the ball. He's got some legs, this guy. I'm going to zoom out because I can't keep up with him. Here he goes up the middle. Great blocking. He's still on his feet. Another midfield level run. Fantastic stuff from him.
And that's exactly what this Portsmouth team needed after drives like that, to be able to get themselves to midfield, give their offence a little bit of an easier opportunity to get the ball rolling. We saw them on the last drive. They came out with some play action. They were able to get a good completion and get things moving. And then they just couldn't quite get that tunnel screen play to work. I think maybe they want to go away from that, maybe try and look to run the ball a little bit more, maybe stick to the play action, because I think that's quite challenging for this 4-2-5 defence that Rushmoor's playing to defend against.
So Portsmouth here with a tight end to the left, one running back, and he does get the ball. I think it's that number 4 again. Yeah, good for a few yards.
And that's Paddy Chapman there. He's running the ball. And last year he was their offensive MVP. He had over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. So you really expect him to
well,
maybe
I really expect him to have the same colour helmet as everyone else then. If he was an MVP last year, there's no excuse, Paddy. There's no excuse. Anyway, there he goes. Oh no, fake to Paddy. Ball passed. Oh. And the receiver catches it really nicely. That play looked like it was set up beautifully, like almost like a bubble screen. and I almost feel like the Rushmoor tackler was almost caught in the wrong place, but actually ended up being the perfect place.
They did really
Like
good job keeping their eyes in the play, you know.
He kept his feet still, which you don't typically do you? But he ended up making a really good play because he didn't go at the quarterback, who was obviously, you know, dropped out the back of the backfield, stood his ground, and then made a great play. So
yeah, because we saw them run to the left. They then try and roll out to the right with the tight end coming across. But yeah, good job by the backer staying in place there.
So 3rd and 10, man in motion across the left of the field. Ball handed off. It looks like it's going to be yeah, it is. It's going to be an end around. Ball is unfortunately fumbled, and that was backwards. So that would be if the Knights got hold of it, which I don't think they did.
I believe we're looking at 4th and the bus ride here.
Yeah. Do you reckon number 0 fancies it?
60-yard field goal, 65 yards.
Yeah.
Maybe if
he
we
did make the
dome.
previous one, yeah.
Until we get indoor facilities
or a
in
wind
Bristol.
tunnel.
Yeah.
You got some compliments. Oh my God, on the commentary is what I was trying to say. Enjoying the commentary today. Good work. Well done. Well done, Tom.
Thank you very much.
You're doing so well. Right, so ball's off. Let's focus on the game. And it goes out of bounds. What's that? Around the 30, but probably just shy of that 30, 35, 34 yard line. We'll just see where the refs mark it down.
Yeah, and I think it'll be. If this sort of Rushmoor offense can go down the field again, I think that would be a massive statement. You know, I think that most people expect them to win this division, but do they expect them to do much after that? Probably not, based on the past few seasons of evidence that we've got. So if they're able to come out and make a statement today where their offense is just moving the ball, they're going down the field, their defense is standing tall, they're able to turn around to the newcomers that have come up and said, you know, you might have all these new players and stuff and these shiny toys, but we've been around the block and we know what we're doing. Yeah,
so
I think that would be really important.
They start this ball on their own 35 yard line, start this drive, 1st and 10. Again, Calvin Stitt in at QB, hands the ball off to Harvey Macy. Two tacklers missing, 3. The 3rd tackler gets hold of number 11 with the aid of number 63, brings down Harvey Macy to the outside. I'm just waiting for the sticks to set. He just about missed the 1st down. I actually didn't think he got that many yards, but he got about 8 yards on that play, so 2nd and 2.
And you've got to be really disappointed if you're Portsmouth there. You managed to do a good job of plugging up the gaps. You've got 2 people getting to the ball carrier pretty much at the line of scrimmage, and neither of them can make a tackle. And that's something that, you know, if you want to play at this level and you want to win at this level, you're really going to have a hard time if you're not able to make plays when you get those opportunities.
So I'm expecting a pass play. 2nd down and short. Playbook opens up. QB Stitt does pass it, but I don't know. It's a pass play, but it wasn't as ambitious as I was hoping. I was hoping at least 15 yards downfield, but it was a completed pass, and it is a 1st down.
I don't mind it from Rushmoor, though. It's a little bit different to what we've seen from them before. I think last year we saw them stick to spread exclusively. We didn't see a lot of play action from them, but there you see, twice now we've seen it. They've gone for that flood concept to the boundary side there. And, you know, maybe they weren't able to get the big shot on that one. They didn't quite get the sort of deeper passes we saw them do in the red zone earlier. But we can see them being a little bit more aggressive in how they're trying to play football this year. And I think that's really exciting for the Rushmoor team.
So that's 1st and 10. Ball handed off to Aaron Sequella, and he's tackled up the middle by number 63, D lineman. So ball snapped, QB doesn't like what he sees and takes off to his left, stumbles a little bit but catches his feet, out of bounds, positive yardage, probably about 4 or 5 yards.
And you were saying before that you wanted to see them maybe take a shot a little bit deeper down the field. I don't know if you noticed, but those safeties for Portsmouth have really come down quite close to the box now. And if they're having to do that to contain the run, I don't think it's too long before we maybe see Rushmoor have a good opportunity to put something deep. I would be personally looking at number 81 on something like a big post, because we've seen him work over the middle into that sort of 10 to 15 yard area. Let's see if he can win those battles maybe 25, 30 yards down the field. It's an easier throw as well for that quarterback, putting it over a straight line rather than having to put it all the way out to the sideline as well.
Definitely. So with double twins, QB takes the ball, looks to his right, still looking to his right, goes across the middle to his running back, and that looks like a completion. We're waiting for the referees. Yep, and he picked up a first down.
I was surprised. That looked like it hit the floor from my
Did
eye.
it? I thought it
then
looked
again,
like he
the
caught it.
referees have a much better view than I, so I will always trust their
Well, I'm
judgment
wearing
on
glasses,
these.
you're not. So. No, it's through the view cam. I get quite a close view, but it did look like a completion from here. But
it's very impressive play nonetheless. The most important part in a play like that is selling it. You know, you've really got to make sure that they know that you've caught that ball, whether it hit the ground or not.
So they are now into Portsmouth territory, just around the 38-yard line. Ball handed off again. Ref right in the way.
And
Didn't really get to play.
They did a much better job that time of at least not letting him break that box and start making the understand field. I think you don't want to be giving up 4 or 5 yards on first downs, but at least they're not letting him get outside and have the take on players in space, because that's when it really gets dangerous. When you've got those players, they've got lots of space and they've got to try and make a secure tackle with that runner up ahead of steam. That's where you see those big explosive runs coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. So Knights, no formation change for them. It's just it's usually running back to the QB's right or to the QB's left. That's the only thing they're changing. So ball snapped, handed. Oh no, play action, and that was a bit weird. The QB, it felt like he should have just let the running back have the ball there. He sort of handed it into the gut, pulled it out, and then stayed behind the running back, but there was nowhere really for him to go.
Yeah, he seemed a little bit unsure there, and I think if you're the head coach and the OC of Knights, you know, you don't really want to see your QB barreling his way into the teeth of the defence.
That's what I meant by that. Like, avoid contact. Yeah. He did no better than what the running back would have done in that, on that play. So why risk it? You know.
He's a big boy though. I'm sure he can take those.
Yeah, he loves the contact. So ball this time, handed off to, can I call that an RPO? It sort of looked like it from the QB's position in, but handed off to the running back, run out to the left, and he does pick up a first, the needed yardage for a first down. So Knights, this is a really good drive by the Knights. They've just chugged down the field. I think it seems like compared to the round in this series, they look like they're being picked apart a little bit more.
Definitely, and I don't think that the Knights aren't doing anything too complicated. You know, they're generally running the same run concept with that sort of zone run, down after down. But they seem to be trying to do a little bit off it, and they seem to be doing some different things to what they may have done last year that are causing some problems for Portsmouth.
Lots of time here for QB Calvin Stitt. Didn't like what he saw, took a scramble. You could see him trying to direct his receiver or receivers. Still didn't like what he saw and just took off. And he doesn't get first down yardage, but it now brings up, what's that, 2nd and 6?
I think there is space to attack in this Portsmouth secondary. I think that we've seen them have some success with that flood play, and we've seen them have some success getting the ball over the middle early to their big slot at number 81. But I think that there are some chances for them to hit the big one. They just need to work out exactly what it is in their playbook that does it best.
Yeah. So, no, they aren't double twins. It's hard to see the Knights.
If it's a Knights with the ball, it's easy to assume it's spread.
Got camo uniform on. Maybe it's just me, I'm just getting old. First down, picked up another first down yardage there.
It looks like we've got our first injury of the game.
Yeah, I'm just going to pan away. We famously don't film injuries. The player's back up on his feet. Yeah, he's hobbling off, which is good to see. So, not a terrible one. We had some really bad ones when we've done our live streams. Didn't want to get any sort of labels like, some curse. Like if we turn up, someone's getting hurt. So.
When you weren't at our game, so I'm sure it's not just down to you.
It's part of the game. But as most of the people that are involved in Sports Tank with this commentary, they've played the game before, and we just sort of like want to protect the dignity of the player.
Of course.
So like we often say, like we're the opposite to what you'd see on telly, where they would film and replay an injury and we wouldn't, but we would film and replay a fight. Not that we encourage them,
two of those,
but I'll film a fight. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, it's offside on the defence there. 5-yard penalty, and repeat the down. It looks like it was first down.
And they had a good play anyway.
Yeah.
You saw Aaron there. He was able to make one cut, and then he managed to cut back across the other way, really carving through that Portsmouth defence. They're really having a tough time of it. I think they're really struggling to make a play down after down after down. This Rushmoor O-line, big credit to them. They are doing a really good job up front.
You make a good point there, because it's hard when you're on defence. If you're on the defence, if the defence is on the field a long time, you can't keep up intensity for that long. On offence is a little bit easier too, right? That's why everyone always says you want to keep your offence on the field. This defence has spent a long time on the field and haven't had much of a break.
Every time that Portsmouth's offence is coming out, they're going up against a rested Rushmoor defence, and that extra edge is probably going to make it really tough for them to try and get back into this.
Oh, but QB does drop the ball, picks it up, takes off. They've got hold of it. He pitches it out to. He picked up a Sequala. It was a running back, and I couldn't tell the number. And he doesn't quite take it in. The referee there has just marked it around I think it's around the 5-yard line.
And if you're the Dreadnoughts, you just got to be scratching your head at this point, because you finally have a break, the ball goes on the ground, you finally contain things, and then he just tosses it out.
Do you know what, man? Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and like it's. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the reverse of that is sometimes for the Knights it does go your way, you know. Like it just sometimes you just get the rub of the green as a team, and you're like, oh, we were lucky that happened. We were lucky that happened, you know. And that was one of those plays, definitely, when that happens. Ball snapped. QB looks out across the middle to big guy number 81, and yeah, I don't know. It feels like that's an indefensible play. Like how do you stop that?
I think that. You would start by maybe you almost maybe think that you might want to come down and press him. How do you press him?
Well, that's it.
Huge guy,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
You want to stop him getting inside, but then he can take you outside, and it's proving a real challenge for them at the moment, because number 41 has been lined up over him, the safety, and he's just really having a tough time of it today. They just seem to be able to hit that button whenever they need a play.
Look at that. That's the matchup there. I just want to sort of get it on camera. That's what we were talking about. It's just, and not to say that it's. I don't know, not mismatched, but it's just there's a different way of playing and defending against someone that's that big. And yeah, you've got to try something else. If what you're doing isn't working, if giving him a bit of space and playing maybe an outside shade isn't working, maybe you've got to just try an inside shade and a little bit closer and just slow him down a bit on the routes.
Well, I think from what you can see, it looks like Portsmouth they're in a base 3-4. And it looks like maybe they're trying to play some quarters. You can see those safeties are lined up over the slots pre-snap, which kind of signals quarters to me. And it puts a lot of pressure, because it means that to take away the middle of the field, you really need those linebackers to be able to get involved. But they're having to play the run game. And especially once you start getting into the red zone, it maybe becomes man-to-man. You're not able to get that help from the inside, because those backers really have to be responsible for those gaps and take away the runs on and inside the 5. So it really is a difficult job for them when you've got such impressive slot receivers as Rushmoor have put out on the field to start off today. Yeah,
so, that's going to be a huge weapon for them this season, I think. I think we're seeing that, you know, hopefully something that's something they're going to be able to rely on and get them yardage this season, because they're very effective here against this Portsmouth defence today. So, ball kicked off. I'm not surprised to see this, but they decided not to kick it to the returner. But did it go out of bounds?
It did indeed.
And so that's a penalty, and we'll see. Do they re-kick, or do they take the ball a little bit further up?
I think if you were the Portsmouth OC and they turned around to you and said, your first 3 drives of the game, you're going to start with the ball on the 50, the 50, and the 40. How many points would you expect that you would have put up on those first 3 drives? Of course.
Yeah, you'd expect at least 2 scoring drives out of that. You know, but yeah. I haven't done the score update, so it is 19-0 now to the Farnham. So not Farnham, they're called Rushmoor now. The Rushmoor Knights.
I really think the offensive line is going to be key. They really need to start moving this Rushmoor D line back and trying to open up some holes for them to make some plays.
It feels to me like it's been ages since I've seen their offense, the Portsmouth offense. You know, I don't know how long it's been, but yeah, like I was just about to say, you know, Jaden's back in at QB. I think, when was the last time I said that? That number 4, is it Paddy, the running back?
Indeed it is.
Paddy with a wrong lid, runs it out to the left here. We've had people in the comments saying they need to get Paddy going. That sounds right, but they need to just get, I think, something going, like something regular. And maybe Paddy's the best option here for them.
I think if they can just find their way into the Rushmoor box, they're able to start getting in between the tackles and making some plays, and they can start moving the ball forward. But right now, it's very tough all round.
We'll pass that to the right. Nice block in there for Paddy, but he is tackled, quite nicely tackled by a couple of Knights players there. But does pick up yardage, and that we're just going to see where the ball is marked. But looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 3.
And that's just good football right there. You have number 65, the tackle there, coming out, making a big lead block for his guy, and then you see that linebacker. It's been a good set of football game so far. Even though the energy and the points, they've all been Rushmoor's way so far, both sides have definitely put up a good competitive fight.
So that's got to be a false start on the centre there. Because the QB twice signalled to get the ball.
And I think that's the big difference between these teams. You know, we've seen that Rushmoor have managed to benefit from 3 yards in this game, and you see there 3rd and 3. Yeah, you finally got yourselves moving down the field. You got yourselves in good field position, isn't it? Yeah. Exactly, and then you knock yourselves back. You really want to see Portsmouth pick things up here and see if they can start being a little bit kinder to themselves in a way.
Yeah, well, at least get some points on the board. You know. It feels like they're good for it. Ball here fired out to the right, and intended receiver catches it. Tackled out of bounds. That was number 85, and it is short of the first down, but it's not far off. But it is going to be 4th and 2. I think they're going to punt. I think they're going to punt. I think they're going to try and pin again.
Although it looks like they're staying.
Yeah, they've only got a couple yards. Paddy's good for 2 yards, isn't he? Go on, Paddy. You can see him fighting there. Yeah, he looks like he's picked that up. He done really well to avoid that tackle, that first tackle.
Yeah, you can see those linebackers came down. They wanted to be aggressive. They had a feeling that they were going to run the ball. But the Portsmouth O-line, great job, just moving him out of the way, just to give a little sliver for their main man to be able to make up those yardage to keep the ball moving. This is big for them.
Paddy's come off, and there's number 3. The running back number 3's in now. Not in the pecking order. That's the number on his jersey. And ball is snapped. Jaden drops back, looks over to the right, and it touches. I don't know why that would have been a magnificent catch, right, for him if he'd have caught it. And he's like beating himself up. He did really well to get to that ball and get hands on it, especially as a defender, right? So great play there from the defender. I'm probably not. Oh. I think there's a flag here for some foul language.
Well, we have very high standards of etiquette in British football, clearly. So, you know.
Let's just see. Yeah, the ball's coming. They give him a first down. Let's have a look. I think it's number 0 that got it.
Normally, the person that says that they didn't do anything is the person the flag is on.
Yeah, number 0 for the Knights. I think his name's Demi. Good player, but he runs his mouth a lot.
A lot of greats do.
Yeah. So 1st and 10 here in Knights territory. QB's still got the ball. He does fire it out. It's right in front of us. The guy catches it. Number 85. It's good. It's a reception, right? He's here. Yeah, cool.
And that's a big grab right there.
That's
you
a
saw
massive
that
play.
You saw he was being held down here earlier in the route. Didn't matter. He still came up and made a big play there.
Great play by Bert.
Yeah, Sam Waters again. You really want to get the ball in his hands. We saw they tried to get the ball, nearly got picked off. But I think that they can, if they can keep getting the ball to him, they might be able to get some big explosives going forward.
Sorry, I haven't got a good angle on this, guys. Everyone's in a row. So Paddy again carrying the ball. Thankfully, he carried it a few yards. Now everyone's not in our way.
And that was a good little run there again. We saw that this number 65 here has been a couple of runs where he's done a really good job of getting out ahead, being able to kick people out and give room for the back there to be able to start working inside between the tackles.
So we're second down and about 7 in the end in the red zone here for the Dreadnoughts. Ball is dropped on the ball, and Jaden just takes it, swallows it, drop all those yards they just got. They lost and more. and it's 3rd and 12.
Oh, generous spot. He's looking at about 3rd and 11.
Well, yeah. That is a generous spot, but that's fine.
And you can see this Rushmoor defence. They haven't been tested yet. You can see they're a little bit tired now.
Right, so QB there rolls out to his left, but he's right-handed. He has to step back on his other foot and just throws it under, but there is a flag.
We've got 2 flags on the play. I think there's a block in the
Things
back.
are getting a little bit chippy now, aren't they?
I think from what I saw, it looks like they'll probably call a block in the back as the QB is rolling out, but then I think there's a late hit, so it'll be interesting how they decide to call these in.
Yeah.
Just shoulder. I'll be right in a minute. Right in a minute.
Yeah, let's just wait for the referees to confer, and then Whitecap will tell us what's going on. He is speaking to the defence, asking for a decision. So
yeah, I think I heard a legal blindside block there from our side judge this year.
You did hear that, because I just heard it. Oh. Ah, they're offset. Okay, so illegal blindside block was actually on the offence.
Yeah, you saw one of the.
Good to see you. Yeah, good. Yeah, good man.
So we get to redo it all over again on 3rd and 11 here.
Where's the outside linebacker? Quick. What are you giving me for? I like
QB drops back, looks to his right. He does get hit as he throws it, and he throws a bit of a duck, and I'm trying to get the number, but it was intercepted by the Final Knights number 54. And on 3rd and long, they take over in their own red zone. Well, I suppose it's not their red zone, is it?
And you saw you saw Rushmoor manage to send pressure with that 5th guy there, and that just freed somebody up to be able to get the QB.
Yeah.
You saw the cornerback; he was lined up inside a little bit, so there was definitely that space to the outside if they wanted to take that shot. And I think that's clearly what he was looking for. It's very hard to get your feet set and throw the ball when you've got a big guy in your face smacking you to the ground like they did just there.
Yeah.
Really impressive play on 3rd and 11 there. But let's see if Portsmouth can do their offense some justice, maybe get them the ball back with some good field position.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of a break now, haven't they? So hopefully they'll even things up a bit. So ball handed off to Harvey Macy. He takes the ball. It's definitely shy of a 1st down, but it's not far off. It looks good for about 8 yards, that run. Oh no, 7. So 2nd and 3.
And the D-line, they're doing a good job in places. They do manage to kind of take up a couple of blocks and force the running back to make a move, but they struggle to have plays where they all do it at the same time and all of those gaps get filled. And these running backs are just finding the space where they leave it. And I think they really need to make sure that all 7 players in the box are filling their responsibilities to stop them in the second half, because it is going to be really tough for them to keep giving up plays like they have been so far.
Yeah, and just as you said, that's half time. So our half-time score here is the Rushmoor Knights 19 and the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts 0. I think that flatters the Knights a little bit in terms of the score, the difference in score. It doesn't feel like it's a 19-point game. It's a 3-score game, right? So it just doesn't feel like that. And hopefully, in the second half there can be some adjustments, and Portsmouth can, do something to close that gap a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that last drive was the only real drive that we've seen at Portsmouth where that looks like what they're trying to get to.
Yeah.
I think throughout the first half they just never really got things rolling. That was much more of what they're trying to be, I think. And I'll be really interested to see how they come out in the second half. Do they need a bit of a kick up the backside, a little bit of a talking to get some energy into them? Do the coaches have they seen some things schematically that maybe if they change them that'll put them in a better position? How are they going to come back in the second half? Because I think very easily it could run away from them quite quickly. But equally, they come out, they get the ball first. So in theory, they could go down the field, make it a 2-point game and 2-score game, sorry, and you know, suddenly from there it's
they've
a
got an
proper
opportunity.
football game.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, right, we're gonna dip for half time and relax and just have a little lie down and just gather our thoughts. And we'll be back in about 10-15 minutes for the second half. So yeah, thanks guys. Get yourselves a drink and we'll see you soon. You should be able to hear us now. Sorry guys, we've been talking, but the sound was off. Let me just double check that it's on. Yeah, I can hear it coming through the headset, so we should be cool. Let us know if you can now hear it, if you couldn't hear it before. Yeah, apologies for that.
And so you're looking at 4th down now from about the 30. It looks like they're keeping their offense out on the field here. It's going to be a real task for them to be able to convert this 1st down. But if they can, then this game really takes on a different picture.
Yeah. We were just saying loads of nice things about Portsmouth that you guys will never hear. Oh, good defending there from the DB.
And that's very tough there. You see that the receiver wasn't expecting it. You know, you might expect the ball to maybe come out early, but then you've got to put your head down. You've got to look for the ball to be up in the air. But once again, Rushmoor did a really good job of bringing some pressure there, made that quarterback get the ball out of his hands quicker than he wanted to. And now they've got good field position at 30. Let's see if they can do what they were doing in the 1st half. Can they really get that sort of 4 to 5 yards on 1st down? Can they throw in some...
pick up where they left off, essentially,
Yeah. I think the offensive line were feeling really confident after the 1st half there. They're really able to open up some holes, and I think they'll really want to come back out and do it all over again. But let's see what changes Portsmouth might have made on their end.
Yeah, so it does say 4th down on the marker, but this is 1st down. Oh no, yeah, that was 1st down. That was the Knights' offense, wasn't it?
And that's a big play there from the defensive tackle, number 60, getting into the backfield, Josh Smith. We saw him a couple of times in that 1st half make some good plays. We saw him, even when he wasn't able to actually make the play, we saw him getting caught up in double teams and making it tough for Rushmoor to move him about. It'd be really interesting to see if he sort of learned some things from that 1st half and is now able to come in the 2nd half and actually get into the backfield and really disrupt things. Because if they can get into the backfield more, then suddenly Rushmoor will have a much more difficult task on them offensively.
And ball handed off there to the running back, run to the left. I don't know, I can't see which running back it is. It looked like it might be Harvey Macy again.
It did. It looked like he wasn't able to get much there.
No, I'm just waiting for the refs to show the marker.
And it was a great example there of what we were talking about with number 60, Josh, where he was able to take up 2 offensive linemen, and that's what allowed number 47 to come downhill and make that tackle. That's a matchup that I'm really going to keep my eye on as we keep moving forward in the 2nd half.
Yeah, because you see that they're often stacked on plays, aren't they? So Stitt drops back, looks to his right, fires the ball, intended receiver, number 80. Have his hands. DB number, I don't know if it's DB or
he's a safety there, number 41, Lewis Keynes. He's been a member of the team for quite a long while. Also a coach at the Spitfires, Chichester University Spitfires. So, you know, when you've got a safety there who's got that mind. We saw he got beat earlier on the inside over the middle, which I think it's a tough play to defend based on their defensive structure and the alignment and whatnot. You know, it's challenging when you've got a guy going inside and you've got that cushion there, but he was able to keep his leverage there, make a play on the ball as it was thrown outside. If they've managed to lock that up.
Not a very far punt. It didn't go far at all. Went really high in the air. Ball is downed by the Knights. I think it's about
the first down marker.
I don't think it passed halfway.
No.
I don't know. We'll see. But is it number 5, DJ, the receiver?
Yeah,
the returner.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to avoid him. It looks like he purposefully angled to kick this ball directly out of bounds. Obviously, it's didn't quite do that and didn't get that far. It doesn't feel like there's that much wind, but maybe, I don't know, maybe further up there it is. It doesn't. The trees in the distance don't look like they're struggling too much, but maybe just shanked the kick.
Yeah, he was trying to kick it away, didn't quite get the distance he wanted, but...
So Jaden Ellis, QB here, drops back, fires the ball to his right. Paddy Conley, the intended receiver, takes the ball and looks like he picks up another close to 1st down.
We were saying that we wanted to see this Portsmouth O-line really step up in the 2nd half because that was a bit of an issue for them in the 1st. And you could see there that pass protection was great. They were able to get the ball out to their man in space once again. If they can keep doing this, if they're able to bring those apex defenders, the guys that are just outside the box, and suddenly get them creeping in a bit, that's how you're going to find that space to really get the ball down the field.
So Ellis here firing the ball out deep. And intended receiver number 85, I believe it is, has caught the ball, for a reception, and they've got another first down. They're deep into the red zone.
And we saw
in
them,
just 2 plays. Like, that's unbelievable.
and we saw them try to get the ball in Sam's hands earlier in the game with that tunnel screen play. They couldn't quite execute it, but I think they've really got a matchup on the outside here, and they're definitely going to continue to look for this matchup because he's a big boy, but he's got a lot of athleticism as well.
So Conley takes the ball here to the outside. Looks like he's free and in. And he is.
And that's a fantastic play there. You see they get the motion there. You see the Rushmoor players are sort of expecting something going across.
Yeah.
They're able to run back against it. It's quite a classic play. You know, lots of teams like to use it, but when it works well, it looks absolutely beautiful.
And Portsmouth have done well here. So, you know, it did look a bit hairy for them initially because they turned the ball over, but they managed to get the Knights to go 3 and out. And it's no different to them scoring from the opening drive, right? Like, so they're in the game still, right? So it's a 2-score game. Looks like, am I right in saying they're going for 2? Yeah, Wildcat. It looks like they've got Paddy, number 4, the running back, as a Wildcat QB, taking the ball and running it. That makes sense, and he's in.
And you see they just did such a great job on there. They managed to they controlled the edge there. They blocked guys in. They had somebody pulling around, and they were able to get that crease on the outside. And now it's only an 11-point game. Suddenly everything's wide open. I think that was a really interesting drive there from Portsmouth, and interesting from Rushmoor's side as well.
If Rushmoor don't score, then Portsmouth are going to come back into this game, right? So this actually puts the pressure on Rushmoor. Even though they're 11 points down, Portsmouth, they've turned the tables in terms of momentum here, and it puts Rushmoor in a difficult position.
And I think this is where the newly promoted energy, this is where it comes into play here, right? You know, you're able to go in at half time, you're able to say, look, we didn't do what we wanted to do. We're playing against a team that is expected to do really well here. We're playing with nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And they've come out and they've started off defence looking much better, a lot more energy on that side of the ball. Offence has come down and made some big plays quickly. Rushmoor really needs to prove their experience and their know-how here and really get a grasp back on this game.
Like they had a great first half, but it's no good having a great first half if you lose it all in the second, right? So it's if they want to maintain this sort of, I don't know, the edge on this game, they're going to have to do something on this drive. But you know, Portsmouth have got other things to say. It looks like that was a trip then. Yeah, it was. That's why they're fighting.
A lot of players swarming into the ball, and when there's people diving all sorts of ways, it's very easy for things to get a bit messy.
Yeah.
But also just good old-fashioned football, isn't it?
But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, good return there on the ball. The ball's probably, it looks around the 35-yard line, still in Knights territory, but not a bad starting position for them.
Both teams have had very good starting field position on both drives. I think I can only recall one drive starting inside the 20. I think that was when Rushmoor got back.
Knights got pinned back. Yeah.
Other than that, both teams. I think that's quite an underrated part of how they're moving the ball so well. They're not worried about the downsides at this point in the game.
So Stitt takes the ball, hands it off. I think I know he hasn't. He's kept it. He did the old RPO type handoff and then kept the ball, went to the outside, and he almost picked up a first down. I don't think he quite got to that second stick.
You wonder if he's maybe reading it a bit too late, or if the picture's a bit fuzzy for him, because you don't expect them when they're reading that zone read to pull and go the same way as the running back. It feels like maybe the play isn't working as it's supposed to, because you would expect if he's pulling that he's going the other way as those linebackers are sort of biting
that's
inside.
right, he's pulling it and running the same way, but maybe using the running back as a blocker, I don't know. But I mean, it was working, he just got 8 yards, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it's intentional. Like by design, maybe I should say.
Yeah.
He obviously intended to get yards. And that brings up first down. So nice little run there. It looks like it's Macy again carrying the ball. And they're now just at the halfway line, so 50-yard line. We do have a 100-yard field here. Very lucky, one of the few.
I'm surprised. I would have thought 100 yards instead of 90. Maybe the game would have been a bit slower. Maybe, you know, that extra 10 yards that teams have to move, maybe it stops them from getting down the field. But so far, both offences have actually had a little bit of something to them. It's been a really nice start to the Britball season so far, I find, in this game.
Definitely. So man in motion here across the backfield. QB takes the ball, hands it off, and it's Macy again, and it's not quite a first down, but very good yardage for the run. Brings up 2nd and 4.
And keep an eye on these safeties, Steve, because you were saying earlier how maybe on second and a little bit shorter you wanted them to maybe take those shots down the field. Look at where these safeties are lining up. They're coming down about 5 yards away. There's a lot of space in over the top if Rushmoor can get the protection and look to take those shots downfield. Yeah,
maybe this is an old-fashioned view, but I always think when it's second and short, the playbook opens up, and it's, you know, as a defender, I've got a defensive mind. I think, shit, they can do anything here, you know. But ball caught, thrown into the flat court. I assume that's Macy again. It looks like it is. Oh no, it's Godfrey this time. Players making a bit of noise, but he's got up gingerly there. Number 2 for the Dreadnoughts, and game on. So they did pick up first down yardage there. They got the couple of yards they needed. It's now 1st and 10. Ball on the. They're now into the Dreadnoughts territory. So it's a nice drive on this this series. It's 1st and 10 inside the Dreadnoughts territory.
And I love these little wrinkles that Rushmoor's throwing into the run game. Sending somebody in motion, he can pull it, he can give it to the running back, or he can throw to the flat where they're getting numbers out in space. It's really just adding a little bit more diversity to their offense, just making them a bit harder to defend than it was last year.
Again, ball handed off, run to the left-hand side with Harvey Macy, and he's just chewing through the yards here. This is his best series he's had. I think every single time he's touched the ball, he's got 5+ yards.
And it's everybody that's involved in this, you know. I think it's often understated how important the pass game is to the run game, and you can see what they're doing with the RPOs. They're forcing the players that aren't in the box to have to think about what's going on outside. They're not able to come in and crash, and you see that it's making it really tough on those guys in the box because they can't get the 7th or 8th guy to kind of come in and play contain or crash to the ball.
But as the field shortens here, as they drive down it, they lose that advantage of depth, you know. Like so, you think they'd do something to take advantage of it, but they haven't yet. So QB takes the ball, and they do. Here we go. Speak of the devil. Oh, that's got to be defensive pass interference, easily. Defensive pass interference on number 35.
And this is what you see when the safeties are coming and they're playing downfield. It means that those cornerbacks, they haven't got anybody to help them. So he gets his eyes inside because they're playing that throw to the flat. So those DBs want to come and help. They want to come and crash down on those things that are short, and it gives up that space over the top. And I think Portsmouth are having some real problems here because they're really struggling to balance the running attack and the passing options that Rushmoor are trying to get.
At least with the ball inside the 20 now, it helps a little bit.
You'd think
because it condenses things somewhat, but
But when you've got such talented wide receivers like Rushmoor do, putting these guys on islands against them, it's making things really challenging for them.
Absolutely. Right, so the Knights still in their same formation. RPO, QB keeps it, and he's taken off. You can see he's already tucked that ball, Calvin Stitt, and he'd taken off. He saw enough. I imagine what he saw was the backs of a couple of helmets in the area, and just said, "Yeah, I'm getting yards here." And yards he got. It looks like the ball. It looks like it's about 2nd down and 3. 1, 2. Yeah, 2nd and 3.
And when you're going up against man coverage, especially in the red zone, if you don't see an option open quick, you do want to take off and run. You know, because it's unlikely that things are going to develop any better the longer you sit in the pocket. So you really just want to get your head down, get those yards.
He's fast enough to get the yards. You know, there's not some QBs. But he's very quick decision maker, and he knows he can make yardage.
Real assets in the Rushmoor team.
So, fires the ball deep into the back of the end zone. It looks like it's good. We're waiting for the signal from the referee. It looks like I didn't see the signal from the ref, but it looks like the catch was good, but it was out of bounds.
It looked like maybe something went slightly wrong with the play. You never want 2 receivers on top of each other, so you wonder if there was maybe a bit of a miscommunication.
That's a good point,
It was
flooded with defenders, wasn't it?
Yeah. But you see the way that Portsmouth are really stacking the line of scrimmage, and you see that they haven't changed from the first half. They've still got what looks like man-to-man coverage in this part of the field. And so don't be surprised if maybe they go back to number 81 over the middle. We've seen them have quite a lot of success there. They've also got talented players on both outsides, so they can really pick any matchup.
I would completely agree with you. This is 81 time. This is where
you see the difference. The safety over the top has now come down, playing a little bit tighter, a little bit more inside. They clearly want to take that away.
Stitt looks to the right. Number 35 defended really well there.
And that's so much better from them. You saw that before they were playing that man-to-man coverage, but they were backed up a little bit. They're giving them space to work and shoot inside underneath. But now they've come down, they've pressed it, they've made it much more challenging for them to get to inside and over the middle of the field. This is much better from Portsmouth, and they really want to continue to see this.
They've got one play to do it, right? So it's fourth and 3, and the Knights are going for it. Obviously, it would be a turnover on downs, and Portsmouth would be deep in their own territory, but it sort of plays to the storyline, doesn't it?
That's a big stop right there.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Number 60 again, we talked about him making those plays. He was able to get that penetration then, he was able to stand firm, but then he made that shed and he was able to make that tackle. That's a really impressive stand. I mean, they let them get down the field, but to then put on the brakes, stop them in the red zone where they've had some problems already, that's got to be really promising for Portsmouth, and hopefully for them, their offence can maybe capitalise on this, give their defence an opportunity to rest and go get some points on this drive right here. And if that happens, we really do have ourselves a game.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So 5 minutes left in the third quarter. We just heard from the refs, and on their own 8-yard line, it looks like. Yep, the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts take over. QB Jaden Ellis back to get the ball, and it's bubbled along the ground. He's got to scramble with it. Not the start they wanted to this drive. Not the start they wanted. He maybe picks up a yard, but it's just not the play that obviously they wanted to run. Made the most of it. At least they didn't lose yards, but effectively they lose the play, if you like.
And it'll be interesting to see how they use their tight end, their formations going forward. You saw they tried to do almost a return motion with him, to see if they got any tells from the defence.
Yeah.
The ignored it.
Yeah.
You do what you want.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they can actually maybe get some advantages from moving.
Again, just makes a menace of himself.
He's been running really hard in this game, and he hasn't had a lot of holes to go into. But he's been making contact on every run.
He's a tough guy to play against.
He's getting 2 or 3 yards from every point of contact he makes. You know, you saw him tackled there about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and there he picks up 5.
Yeah.
That's a really hard guy to go up against.
And they give it back to him on a design play to the outside. They do tackle him short, and this is it brings up 4th down and short. And Portsmouth have got a decision to make here.
Kind of want to go for it though here, right?
I would like to see them go for it. I would understand them going for it.
I think the tough thing is here, if you go for it, you know that they would have to be running it. So you know that they would be sending everything. And I don't think that Portsmouth, man on man, when they're 6 against 6, that sort of thing, quite have the upper hand to maybe go for it. You see they're punting here. They've got a good punter.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, is how far can this guy punt it? And we know he's got a hell of a leg on him. So, yeah, let's see how well he does it and how well they manage to field. Yeah, lots of players down the field here. And
we've got a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Is there? Ball's out of bounds at around the 50-yard line. Let's just wait and see.
Yeah, nice little return there from 89 Godfrey. The biggest thing on punt returns, you always just want to make that first guy miss. Once you made that first guy miss, you've got some space, you're able to get your head up and you're able to see where the lanes are opening up. And I mean, realistically, as long as you're not having any execution errors at this level.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it was offside on the defence, so it's now an automatic first down. This drive is still alive for the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts.
And that's really, for a team like Rushmoor, that's the kind of thing you can't afford.
No.
Because you are the people who have been here before, you've got a lot of experience on your team.
Whoa.
We saw the 3 yards that Portsmouth were giving up in the first half.
What are you trying to do? Block a punt within a 10-yard line? You're going to get good field position anyway, right? But anyway. Encroachment.
And I think this, clearly Rushmoor have got very confident. They're doing well, they've got the lead. Defensively, they've been all over them to start off with. They obviously gave up that sort of second drive, but overall they've had the upper hand. It'll be interesting to see if they can rally back here. And
first and 5. Whoa, Rushmoor doing a good job of helping out Portsmouth come back in this game.
Indeed,
you know?
indeed.
Ellis hands the ball off to Conley, who's just, like I said, continues to be on brand with his Tasmanian devil running.
and I like that they're running the ball. They're managing to get themselves some good yards, but I would like to see them maybe throw the ball outside. They have got a lot of talented wide receivers, but it's been really hard for them to get the ball in their hands. And I think I'd like to see them try and do that. Maybe you go back to the tunnel screen that you tried earlier. Now that the QB's got a bit of rhythm.
Yeah. So QB Ellis drops back, fires the ball. Everything's going through Paddy.
And to be honest, Steve, you can see why, because he's been by far the most explosive player. I mean, to be honest, I think he's been one of only maybe 2 or 3 guys that have had the ball in their hands for this Portsmouth offence. It's definitely being funneled through one player, but if you're going to pick a player to go through, it would be this lad. He's been a monster so far with every touch he's got.
Just needs a right helmet.
3rd and short coming up here. It'll be really interesting to see if they can get the conversion here.
So QB takes the ball, looks to his right, looks over the middle, fires the ball. That's the pass. That's the offensive pass interference. The ball was in the air. They've got. He's saying that it was uncatchable. It is.
It's generally very hard to catch a football when you've been pushed into the ground.
Well, it's hard to catch a ball when you're pushing someone else into the ground. That's because it was offensive. But no penalty.
I'm surprised that they met, because we're 3rd and 1. We've seen Paddy churning up yards. I'm very surprised that they opted to put the ball in the air there, especially over the middle of the field where that safety's able to even take the ball away from them. Might have liked to see them maybe just run it up the gut once more and get themselves.
So this is a classic wildcat situation. They're it's almost like they're half pretending to punt, but it's 4th and short. Paddy takes the ball, picks up first down and more. Still on his feet.
Yeah, and you see Rushmoor just were not prepared for a play like that. They put 3 guys to as soon as they catch the ball, they're able to run counter back the other way. It's a very tough play to contain.
But for me, that was an obvious play, right? You had who has been their key yard getter.
We're staying in the Wildcat here.
And he's in Wildcat, right? I can't see him passing it, but maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll get him to throw the ball, but. Stiff arm to the safety. I think it's Lucy Pete from GB Women's.
Indeed.
Goes a little bit high and gets stiff armed, and Paddy just carries on chugging away and doesn't get the first down though. I don't think. We're just waiting to see. Yeah, it looks like it's about 7 or 8 yard gain.
And I don't think you obviously can't live in Wildcat. You see them bring the quarterback back out there, but by adding that many fullbacks in the backfield, they've almost created like a lot more gaps on the line of scrimmage that they've got to contain. And if the defense isn't ready for it, it's very challenging to be able to defend that.
And another pass attempt there, just a bit too deep. I think we've seen that quite a few on both sides of the ball here. A lot of balls just being a little bit too deep.
And they're really struggling to push the ball out to the sideline. There's been a couple that have maybe just slipped through hands or been overthrown. I think Jaden's still struggling to kind of get himself settled in this game.
Oh, fumbles the ball. Has to drop on it. And they're going to have to punt it. That was 3rd down.
And it's a real shame because he's got a lot of experience, and I remember talking to him about this game coming in, and I think he did say there was a little bit of nerves in the sense that he's not quite familiar with all of the guys just yet, and obviously this being his first game with them, and I think they were probably hoping for maybe a little bit more composure, a little bit more of that experience to show through, because at the moment it's not quite showing for him. I think that as we keep going into this game, he's going to be very resilient because he's been in situations before where you're down. He kind of understands the ropes in that sense. But they really need him to be able to make some plays here.
So fires the ball. Again, it's the same story. And that was 4th down, wasn't it? Oh no, this is 4th. I thought that was 4th down. Sorry, I think this down marker guy's not paying attention because
Free labour doesn't get you much.
This is 4th down. Yeah, exactly. This is 4th down, and they are going to punt for it. They are punting from further upfield than before, so there has been progress, and no points on the board from either team. But Portsmouth do need to get some points on the board soon.
I think sometimes as an offence, you do have those drives where you just figure some things out. You know, you don't necessarily always move the ball as much as you want. You don't necessarily score, but you maybe get a bit more of an idea of what you're going to call on the next drive. And I think that's going to be really key here. It's off a drive like that where they had some successful plays, but didn't maybe move the ball all the way down the field as they were hoping to. Can they at least see what worked well on those drive on the next one. But obviously the most important thing here is going to be, can this defence do them from not only punching the ball in, but maybe even not let them get that far down the field, you know.
Yeah.
See if they can give that offence back that field position. Maybe let them get back on the field again, you know. Don't give them time to get cold. For a while. Let's get them back on the field and let's see if they can find their rhythm.
So, QB, I forgot his name. Calvin Stitt hands the ball off to Harvey Macy to the left again. It looks like
they're in a rush to score any more points, do
no, but yeah, they're in a winning position, right? So you want to chew up as many minutes as possible. But
part of me wonders, are they trying to the depth that they're playing with? They are coming down quite close now. I think if they can get a conversion here and then they manage to get themselves into. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. There was someone might be ejected for that because there was a
looks
push
like
over.
Left tackle number 53 getting himself involved in the afters, but.
Well, for me, it looked like a Knights player pushing onto the pile after the whistle had been blown. We'll see.
Always interesting to see how the officials judge these things, because you don't know how much of the incident they saw. And usually, unfortunately, for most of the people involved in it, they only see the very last thing.
And the refs will always say that. They'll say, well, you know, we can only judge on what we see, and we normally see the retaliation. But the player should know that, right? Like, you know that if there's something happening and there's been a bit of a commotion, you should stop because no way. Okay, fair enough.
It's one of those things you say as a coach. You know, players have got to stay disciplined, and you think that they should be able to do the right thing. But it's very hard to think that you've got to go full go and you know, dominate your matchup. But then as soon as you hear that whistle, you've got to completely stop.
Yeah.
It's especially when you're chirping back and forward in the trenches, it can be really hard to switch that off. But so far, it's just been a good fiery game on both sides, I feel. Nothing too over the line on either side.
No, it hasn't been. It's been good. So, just a score update. The Knights are leading 19-8 here in the third quarter. And another
like
good pick-up. It is first down. There's a signal first, yeah. So third and about 3, and that's exactly what's picked up. It looks like quarter there. So we're going to go into the fourth quarter. The change ends.
And that's a big conversion for them. Just being able to stay on the field. They're able to control the clock now going into the fourth quarter. This Portsmouth defence had quite a tricky day, I think. I think that they might have, their matchup might have caught them off guard a bit, because I think if you would have looked at what the Knights did last year, they've definitely added some new wrinkles coming in this year.
Yeah.
And I think they've worked quite well so far. They really need to make a stand on this drive. I think that if Rushmoor push the ball down the field again, then I think Portsmouth's going to have a really difficult one to come back here.
I think that's fair.
Come on now, O-line. Time to go to work now.
Yeah, I think, well, if the Knights score again, I can't see the Dreadnoughts having enough time to get back into it. No. In the last 15 minutes of the game, the Knights have got the ball. So, yeah, it's this for me, this could ice the game on this drive. I know it's probably not fair to say, but I just can't see the other team fighting back.
No, and unfortunately for Portsmouth, their defence hasn't seemed to. They don't look like they're going to be a unit that's going to manufacture anything for their offence either. You know, sometimes you see those defences that are able to really swarm to the ball, really try and rip it out, or they're able to break on the ball in the pass, and they just haven't been able to make any plays of that nature. So really, they've just got to bend, don't break, and hope that they can get that turnover on downs or force a punt.
So QB Stitt takes the ball, hands it off to Sequala, who is nicely stopped at the pretty much at the line. It looks like it's about a yard gain on that.
And that's a fantastic job there. You know, they really needed to stop them from moving down the field. And they were able to plug those gaps. They were able to fly to the ball. The Portsmouth defence has done a good job of doing that here and there, but they just haven't been able to chain it together consistently to be able to get them off the field enough.
So this brings up third down and 4 for Portsmouth. I fancy a Calvin Stitt scramble here. Calvin Stitt drops back, looks to his left, fires over to his right, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, big number 81.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when you see earlier on in the game, they had so much success getting him over the middle of the field, and we've seen them run a couple of corner routes trying to get him to break out and deep to the sideline, but for some reason they just don't seem to quite be able to connect there. And maybe that's something they need to work on. You know, in the pre-game you're talking about how it maybe takes a couple of games to really figure things out, but it looks like Rushmoor have put out a pretty good product so far, and maybe there's even other levels to their offence they can still work to reach.
So they don't try anything fancy on the punt this time, and they do let it go to DJ, the number 5 receiver for Portsmouth, and fielded quite nicely by Rushmoor this time. That's probably the shortest yardage that we've seen from a punt return from Portsmouth today.
Definitely.
Probably either team actually.
I must admit, I've been really impressed with special teams on both sides. I mean, you might have maybe wanted a little bit more distance on some of the kickoffs, and we had like maybe one punt that didn't quite go where they wanted to. But overall, it's been clean and crisp. There haven't been any fumbles. There haven't been a lot of stupid plays. Both sides look like they've been well drilled and quite well prepared for the opening game of the season, which is always good to see.
So first and 10 for Portsmouth, starting positions around the 22, 23 yard line. They fire the ball deep to the left, and it is incomplete. There's a lot of groans, I think, just for the level of contact there, but there is a flag thrown. Very late, but there it is.
Yeah, and that was Lake. His second season with Portsmouth. He hasn't really been able to get himself involved in this game, really. I think the only receiver to get him involved couldn't quite. We saw them take advantage of his size on the outside with a deep shot earlier. I think Portsmouth would be well served to try and spread the ball around a bit more and try and get these other playmakers involved, because they're clearly talented athletes. They've just struggled to really get the ball to anybody outside of number 4, honestly.
So just the referee, he's walked backwards and now he's walked the other way. We've now got pass interference on the Knights. So it's a first down play, and they'll spot the ball. I think
it's a tough one there. It looked like
10 yards up.
It looked a bit of 6 of one and half a dozen the other, but one of them fell on the floor, and that was the offensive player. So you're always more likely to get the call in favour there.
Well, then you got to call into play like was that a catchable ball? But anyway, QB drops back here. Ellis fires it, ball out to the flat, and it's gone backwards. And Conley's just trying to limit damage there by diving on the ball as it goes out of bounds, and huge loss of yardage on that play. We're just waiting to see the ref on the fast. It looks like it went back 20 yards.
And that just sums up a lot of what's happened for Portsmouth's offence today. They managed to get an opportunity.
That was a first down. With
15 yards penalty, and then they moved themselves back 20.
Just shy of 20 it is, about 18 yards that is. That's crazy. Oh, sorry, I missed that play, guys.
Yeah, they just tried to throw a little hitch, a little 5-yard hitch out to number 85, and just sailed over his head again. You can see that he's clearly going to be a talented weapon and a big part of this offence going forward, but him and the quarterback, Jalen, just cannot quite connect.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a real problem for them. If they can figure it out, maybe they'll have a chance to put up a lot of big points going forward in future games, but just not quite on the money today.
So Jaden keeps the ball, rolls round to his left. Number 13, intended receiver, catches the ball. Good block there and brought down. But, I mean, they were expected to get, 30 yards, and they got just shy of it. So didn't get a first down on probably about a 25-yard plus game.
And if you're the Rushmoor DC, you've got to look at that play, and you're sort of looking around like, come on, guys, it's third and nearly 30 yards, and we're biting on play action fakes, giving up all that space. Rushmoor clearly aren't impenetrable. They've still clearly got some things to work on, but they have come out strong to start.
So caught in the flat, and it looks like he's good for the first down.
Yeah, we saw them try and work that tunnel screen to number 85. Didn't quite work. We got a good pass in there to number 27. It works a lot better. It'll be really interesting to see if he can offer more to this game, because number 85 has done a really good job, Sam Waters, when he has been given a catchable ball. But let's see what the other receivers can do as we go on this drive.
So Paddy back in at at running back, takes the ball off to the left. Picks up a couple yards. Jaden here rolling out to his right, fires the ball. It's intended receiver number 86. It's a bit high, but he did get his hands to it, but he couldn't bring it in.
They've really got to start converting these, because we saw early in the game, we saw every time the quarterback dropped back, he had pressure in his face. He could not get a play off. This Rushmoor defence is clearly getting a lot tighter. You see that they're unable to get penetration up front with their D-line. They're not blitzing. They're quite happy to sit back in coverage at the moment. And when you've got opportunities to hit plays like that, you've got to just take them. You know, you don't need to get it all back at once, but you definitely have to put the ball in the end zone on this drive to keep any chance of a comeback alive.
So we're 3rd and 8 here. QB drops back, fires it just too low for the intended receiver there. So 4th down and 8, and let's see what happens here.
And once again, it's just a pass along the line of scrimmage that we just can't quite execute. You know, you'd hope that a quarterback of this experience would maybe be able to make those plays, but you know, they just haven't quite been able to connect there. There's definitely a lot of potential in this Portsmouth offence. I definitely am sort of looking at them going ahead and thinking that they could be a team that's going to be dangerous, but just not quite been able to get on the same page all day, really.
Yeah. And so for this 4th down, I'm expecting something special, because the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts have called a timeout for it. Well, so they should be scheming and coming up with a fantastic play. And
there is space to attack in this Rushmoor defence. You know, they play a cover 3 style. That means that, you know, everybody knows there's always some space in the seams to be attacked. Their D-line struggling to get that pressure. Maybe the timeout just gives them enough freshness that they can come down and make a play. But I think you do want to drop back here, and I think you really want to target this outside area. We've seen them have some success in those flood plays. Let's see if maybe they can hit those again.
I've been corrected. I've been saying Paddy's name wrong. It's not. He's not Conley. He's Chapman. Sorry, guys.
Well, I've got Paddy Chapman down on my sheet, so
apologies. It's me. I've been calling him Conley.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why. Sorry. Anyway, let's see this 4th down play. QB's got some time, drops back, and is picked. And number 13 from the Dreadnoughts is bringing down the interceptor, number 89. And there's a flag, I think. No, it's not. Is 89? Is that Stephen Godfrey?
It is indeed.
He's in on defence. So the Knights take over, 1st and 10, ball on their own 28-yard line.
Yeah, and they really need something big from their defence here. On that, short of a 3 and out, I think it's going to be very challenging for Portsmouth to have any chance in this game.
So Aaron Sequala takes the ball up the middle there, nice run from him.
Yeah, and a great job at the point of attack from Rushmoor there. You really saw that right side of the line just driving them back. Yeah. And you know, they've had some time to get rested on the sideline. They've really come out firing to start this drive. It seems clear that they really want to just put the game out of reach and just hold on to the ball for as long as possible.
Yeah. So 5-yard pick up on that game, so 2nd and 5. Ball on the 34-yard line. Hand off again to Sequala. He goes up the just off. I think he changed direction there and ended up going to the left side of the line when the blocking was always all to the right, but doesn't quite get as many yards as the previous down, but it brings up 3rd and 1.
And you don't mind this, because I think if you're Rushmoor, you've been doing a good job of converting in the run game. It's just an extra play for you to burn clock really, and then you've got a fresh set of downs to start over with. So as long as there's no big mistakes on this one, I think it's all working out quite nicely for them.
So QB takes the ball, he keeps it, RPO, and keeps it. And runs out to the left. You can hear the holding calls from the Portsmouth defenders. They get quite upset about it. There is enough yards to get a first down, and it's 1st and 10 from the Knights' own 40-yard line.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have a discussion with the coaches on Rushmoor side and work out. Is that how the play's meant to work? Because it surprises
I think
me
he was
every
a bit
single
late.
time.
It seemed like the running back had already entered contact, and then he pulled the ball. But it worked. QB keeps the ball, drops out to his left, fires the ball. Just not enough on it. Wasn't high enough.
And you don't necessarily want those kinds of plays though, because now the clock stops.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you really want to be just running the ball and burning clock here.
Definitely.
If you're going to be looking to throw the ball, you definitely want to be taking shots down the field. Anything short, it's just not a risk that's worth taking, in my opinion, here.
So ball snapped, handed off again to Harvey Macy. Up the middle, first guy misses the tackle. And it will bring up 3rd down and around 6.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't run the ball on 1st down when you're in a situation where you're trying to take clock off. You know, you're only able to get 4 yards, and now you're looking at 3rd and 6. If you maybe run that first one, you've got the 3 or 4 yards you used to. Now you're looking at 3rd and 3. Suddenly, it's a little bit more manageable.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. Stitt takes the ball, looks over to his right, fires it up in the air, and just cursed himself. Didn't get the throw that he wanted on that play.
And they've been looking for that all second half, really, and it surprised me because when you look at the alignment of the safety, playing straight over the top of him, you don't have to push the ball all the way out to the sideline. You've got a guy that's big, he's fast, he's able to win that matchup, I'm sure, just 1v1. Just put the ball up, give him an opportunity to make a play. But at the moment, he's just pushing it to the sideline, just can't quite get it online with his receiver there.
So the Knights electing to punt, as you'd expect. Harvey Macy back to punt. Ball fielded nicely by number 5 DJ, and he's got some space and he's got some blockers. Fantastic return from him again. He is tackled.
And that's exactly what Portsmouth. Massive return. Now, suddenly, even though it's a 2-score game, they're a lot easier
They're
to
in
get
Knights
their score
territory as well, you know. Like, so it's just shy of the halfway line, but still, they're starting their drive in Knights territory.
And don't forget, they do actually have, unlike most teams in this country, a kicker who can kick from good range.
Yeah, yeah.
So
let's just do it now.
If they can get themselves down to around a 25, they can pick up 3 and they can look to get 8 on the next drive if they absolutely have to.
Yeah. So Ellis in at QB. Drops back, looks to his left, fires the ball up over, and there's no one there.
And it looked like maybe they were running an option. Maybe he had the option to either stop or run a fade, depending on where the DV was. And there's just a miscommunication there. They didn't see the same thing, and the ball goes over the top when actually he thought that he needed to stop about 5 yards. And those are just the things that you have when you've got new players all coming together. They're just not always on the same page. They're still figuring each other out. You expect in the coming weeks they really iron those plays out.
Yeah, hopefully he'll have the option to pass to someone. Calls into motion, number 8 from right to left, and he jogs back again. They don't see any adjustments. Ball handed off to Paddy, number 4. He's still going, he's just running around everyone. He's got the end zone in sight. He's dropping down to the 10-5, and he is tackled inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and you see there, this Rushmoor team, they need to finish this out now.
Oh, there's a flag on the play. Let's just find the white cap. There he is. We'll just
Based on where he's thrown it down, I do wonder if it might have been on the tackle.
Josh.
Yep.
Rob.
It's so it's a face mask.
Yeah,
They probably
so
get a yard or two. It's the
for
ball's
one
now at the 2-yard line. 1st and 10. very, very good opportunity here for Portsmouth to score and to really add pressure in this game.
Yeah, and they're going back to the Wildcat. Obviously, we've seen them run both ways and have success from this formation, so it'll be really interesting to see how they deploy it here.
Yeah, who else would you want it in the hands of at the moment, you know? Yeah, but he takes the ball, cuts to the right, back to the left, and he looks like he's in. He is.
And now we've got a game.
Yes.
Now we really have a game.
Someone's hurt.
And we've got an injury on the field, it looks like.
Sorry, I'm just going to move that.
So this is really interesting. So it looks like they're going to be marching back and they're going to have 15 yards tacked onto the extra point. In an 11-point game, you know, you've just gone and scored 6 points. You really wanted to maybe go for 2 here and make it a 3-point game. Yeah. Now, you can't really go for 2 backed up that far. It means that they're going to have to go and get another touchdown unless they really try and punch it in for 2.
And it's a shame because they, like as we've already said, they've got a kicker that can get them the 3 points from considerable distances. So. Yeah, so we're going to go on mute because this player looks like he's in a bit of pain, and we'll just put a graphic up because, yeah, we'll hopefully be back in a couple of minutes once they've tended to him.
So it looks like they are going for 2 here. And,
yeah, so it was an unsportsmanlike call after the play, after the touchdown. So they got the points.
And this is huge. If they manage to get the 2-point here, then this is going to be a very interesting game as we go down the stretch. And I wonder if they're going to look at number 5 as they've moved him inside here for this one play.
Yeah. So ball, QB drops around to his left, pass to number 88, and nicely fielded and then brought down and tackled by.
It seemed like they weren't quite sure what they were meant to be doing on that play potentially. You saw that there was a little bit of communication between the 2 wide receivers on that side, who should be where.
Yep.
Maybe seemed a little bit unsure in their route. That's really not the kind of execution you wanted right here. Now you've confirmed that you definitely have to go down the field and get a touchdown. Let's just see if Portsmouth's defence can come out and put up a big stop here. I'm assuming they're going to have bad field position because it seems like every return goes to at least the 35.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this return's big for the Knights because their offence in the last few series just hasn't quite cut it, hasn't done what they needed to do.
And I do wonder which direction they go in as well, because we saw them pass a little bit on some more of those downs and maybe not take the opportunity to burn the clock to maybe try and look for a few more yards down the field.
Yeah.
Now that it's a 5-point game, you know that as soon as they get the ball back, they're going to be going for the end zone. Do you maybe still continue to take those opportunities so that maybe they're a bit more backed up if you have some success in those plays? Or do you value burning that clock a little bit more now that we're down towards the tail end of the game.
I would say the former rather than the latter. But let's see. Right, the returner drops the ball, polishes it off, and he's making his way to the left sideline. He's got some blockers. Someone's he's pointing at the kicker, who runs him out of bounds around the halfway line. So we do get the good return that we were expecting. Or I suppose, we were expecting, didn't we? We said 35 yards plus.
And watching, unfortunate enough to be able to coach Travis down at Surrey, and I've seen that done many times this year. Once players get caught up in the wash, if you've got some speed, it's very easy to find lanes at this level on the outside. And both teams have had big returns. It's been good to watch. Who doesn't love a good return game?
I love it. I love good specials. Oh, excuse me. So Knights in that same formation, twins, double twins, single back, hand it off to their running back, Harvey, and he breaks the first 2 tackles, and he's going all the way. Oh, I just missed the camera change, but we get the score immediately.
And
one play.
This whole game, I was wondering when Portsmouth were going to be punished for bringing those safeties down, because they've got nobody over the top to prevent anything, and I assumed that was going to cost them in the pass game, where Rushmoor were going to be able to put the ball over the top and they'd have nobody back to defend it. But that time, you see, actually it punished them in the run game, where they didn't have those players over the top. They were able to sit and watch it and able to come round and swarm to the ball. Instead, they're engaging their blocker, and he's just through one cut.
He still had to break 2 tackles, so you know there was opportunities to slow him down at least. You know, maybe not bring him down. I don't want to sort of say that wide open, but he had to make a couple of breaks and he was gone.
And the offensive line did a great job. They were able to move some players out of the way. They were able to create that lane for him to get through. And then once he was able to get to the second level, they just didn't have the bodies to get to the ball and stop him. I mean, they probably would have wanted to have burnt a little bit more clock, but I think they'll take the points in this situation here.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like that's what I was saying just when you asked me that question. Like, I think that's what the Knights would have preferred. They'd prefer to be in this position now than to just be on the field with their offense still just making runs and taking time off the clock.
I do wonder if maybe they wanted Portsmouth's offence to be on the sideline a little bit longer. I don't know if maybe they're going to come out with a little bit more energy now that they've got themselves on the board and had a really good drive there.
That's interesting.
You know, just bringing them back on. They've got that confidence. They're able to be like, all right, we went down last time. We tightened the game last time. All we got to do is go down and do it again. Yeah. Can they figure it out?
So Macy here kicking the ball off, nice and deep. Looks like it's going for a touchback for the first time today, I think. Oh no, yeah, it has.
So we got to be coming down towards the tail end of the game here. So I'm definitely interested to see how many shots are they going to take? Are they going to be methodical? Are they going to try and go down the field 5 yards at a time? Or
I think
are they going
that's
to start
what they
getting
need
impatient?
to do. That's a good point. Because they are running out of time, and you probably do need to be a bit impatient.
And they have matchups as
well. But they haven't been good at getting big plays.
They haven't been great at the short ones either. the QB's been a little bit inconsistent on those short ones. You do wonder whether, as they full start here and move themselves back 5 yards, really sort of kicking themselves in the teeth to start the drive.
Yeah.
Do you take more of those big shots? Because if you're not being successful on those short plays, then why bother if you're going to get them? If you're not going to be able to execute anyway, just take those big shots and then at least.
They're deep in their own territory. Lovely bat down there from the defensive lineman for the Knights, which will bring up 2nd and 15.
Yeah, this is what we talked about. They're trying to maybe set up a little short screen and they get some penetration. You know, these plays do really work when they're executed.
Paddy Kenny, and I was joking. I know his name's Chapman or whatever.
And we see him make an incredible play again there for 3 yards.
Yeah.
And that's the difficulty that Portsmouth are having here is they're trying to get the ball into the running back's hands. Maybe now we were talking earlier about the check down, and it seems like he's going to it a little bit too early, so the space isn't there.
Exactly what I was going to say. It's not a check down if you're not looking downfield first, right?
Exactly.
So Ellis here in QB takes the ball, rolls around to his right. He's got pressure immediately, still keeps his head up. Good block in there, and they got a call.
And
I thought they were going to call offensive
there's
past
an illegal
interference.
blindside in the backfield, I think. So I imagine the penalty will be declined, but they could be punting out their own end zone potentially if Rushmoor choose to accept, assuming that's what the flag's for.
Okay, let's see. See what old Whitecap says. Yeah. Blindside block declined. Hey, you know your stuff, mate. I'll give you that.
It's all right. We've had the uni ball season to get used to watching for the yellow flags flying up in the air. So we're in good shape for the adult ball season.
So we are fourth, or they are 4th and 14, maybe 13. And their regular punter, number 0, is back there. And there's a timeout called.
Yeah, and that's really something you don't want there. You really need all of your timeouts.
Yeah,
whether
that's
it's
a
going to
burned timeout, isn't it? Like, sorry, the timeout was called by Portsmouth. I didn't say that.
It was just because they were confused about the right number of players on the field on a punt unit, and that's really something you can't afford. You know, if they get inside of 2 minutes and they need to try and stop the clock to turn the ball over, if they manage to get a score here even, and they're not able to get the ball back because they don't have enough timeouts. You know, a moment like that could really come back to haunt you.
And again, sort of early season stuff, and it's that sort of stuff happens later in a game because you have personnel changes, and then people all of a sudden don't know that they're the ones that are taking over on special teams. And here we go, ball up, punted nicely and fielded with a fair catch call by Stephen Godfrey, just shy of the halfway line. So the Knights will start with the ball in their own half, inside their own half. It looks like around the 46-yard line.
Yeah, and I think this offense, the offense on the Portsmouth sideline, they obviously want to get back out there quickly because, you know, the less time they have, the harder it's going to be. But I do think they need a minute to sort of get together and figure out, right, what are the plays
you don't want the Knights to score on the first down again? Is that what you're saying?
I think the viewers probably want it to be a little bit more tense than that. I mean,
I'm all for competitive games.
Best case scenario for the health of the game, I think a fumble on this play would be great.
Snapped right over Calvin's head. Handed off to Aaron Sequalo, who takes the ball. As you would expect, just run plays now, but it takes the ball about 3 yards, so 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, and this Rushmoor O-line's done a great job all day. You know,
They've been good.
They started off really well. They're moving bodies around. This Portsmouth defence is having a real tough time working out, are we meant to be crashing inside, are we meant to be getting to the edge, because it's been a really diverse attack so far.
Another run in, and Squala breaks some tackles this time, and he's off to the races. It took 2 plays for Sequala to do it, but he does score on 2nd down, and they add even more points onto the board.
And we see that this is the issue that comes up when we're talking about those safeties. And I was mentioning it earlier, they're just not able to play any help over the top. So obviously that's bad on pass plays, but in the run game here, we're seeing them break through the first level and there's nobody rallying to tackle. And it's cost them twice in the 4th quarter. I think that Portsmouth, when they get back to look at the film and see where they can go right, I think fundamentally that's something they're really going to have to fix.
Definitely. I think I got the score right, 32-14.
It's a lot to not enough.
And it's 1 more now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got the score right. I was tapping the points and I was thinking, have I done 5, 6? I can't remember. But yeah, I believe the score's now 33-14.
Is that a uni 33-14? Seems like an odd one. You don't see that every day, do you?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
There's been a score, Garmy, but I'm sure there's been a lot of those somewhere.
Hold on. I was going to check the score on our live stream. No one's popped up in the comments to correct me, so I'm thinking I was right, but I just want to double check.
So thinking ahead to future games, you know, Rushmoor have obviously come out and presented a real strong challenge here, and I think we all looked at their division and thought to go undefeated this year.
I think it's very hard to tell so early in the season. They're absolutely a very talented side that you'd expect them to improve on their last year's position, which is what you should always try and do, right, as a team. I've played for the Knights. I played for the Knights for years, and we had one undefeated season. Like they're rare. An undefeated season's a rare thing, and I think there's I don't want to say no to that, but I think there's a lot of competition, a good competition in this league this year.
I think how Portsmouth do in their next game will be a very interesting measuring stick of what this game actually tells us. They managed to get the ball moving.
Ball fired out and pushes him out of bounds when he should have pulled him in bounds. Whatever.
I think they must be very happy with that play, because we've seen that connection between the quarterback and number 85 Sam in there this game, and I'm almost shocked, because when you see a target that big, you think, well, how do you miss him?
He's a big dude, isn't he?
A very good athlete as well. But I think that if they can maybe make some plays here.
Oh, lovely play there from Lucy Peaty, GB Women's safety and Rushmoor safety.
I thought they were going to be able to make the play there, and
that ball looked caught, you know, but she lowers the boom, and it is now an incomplete pass. So we're now on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and I think you just.
Mate, I'm off to do the hoovering.
Oh, mate, I love you.
I'll see you next week. Eh?
All right, see you later. Take care.
And yeah, this is a huge play here. Just get the yards, get yourselves moving here. Nothing fancy.
So QB Jaden drops back, fires the ball over the middle. Oh, are they going to get a flag for that? She might get a flag for that. but there was no flag thrown. But that was a bit late, that hit. She did immediately apologise, but yeah, got to be careful. Like, why give up yards here? That would have been a first down. Come on. She just wanted to get another hit in. I get it. Like, she's enjoying herself. Ball fired out to the right. Number 85. He is tackled. He does get the first down without a doubt.
And we've seen them try and run that play quite a few times in the first half. They didn't quite get it. They've come back to it now. It's clearly a quite effective play. You know, it's really challenging, especially when you've got those linemen pulling out, and then you've got a big right guard there going up and blocking a cornerback. That's the matchup you want, but they just couldn't even quite get the yards after that. This Rushmoor defence has really swarmed to the football in a way I wasn't expecting them to.
Ball run up the middle. QB met pretty much at the line. He may be good for a yard. Just waiting for the ref to correct the ball position.
And we got a fresh running back in here. Number 4 has clearly been taking the lion's share of the work today. It's been a difficult day to him. I wonder if maybe it's a sign that Portsmouth is not expectant that they will get a 3-touchdown comeback.
Yeah. We could have picked up a knock. Oh, lovely reception.
Yeah, that was a really impressive catch there by 88. Matt Penn. Yeah, number 88. He's had a bit of a quiet game so far. He hasn't really been able to get himself involved. But you see there that,
what a time to pop up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue that he might have wanted to pop up a little bit earlier in the game, but you know, it's good to get some momentum rolling into the next one. You know.
Yeah. Portsmouth have got their heads held high in this game. You know, like they've competed. It's been a good game, yeah. Well, hopefully they put more points on the board. Let's see. Ball passed out to the left, still in the air, and receiver doesn't quite bring it in. It actually does hit his hands, number 27.
I saw him take about 4 steps before he dropped the ball. It was, yeah, that's a big shame for them. If they could have executed that play, then maybe they could have had a little bit of a dream. But yeah, that's tough. But they have been able to get the ball moving. They have been able to get things working. I think that if you look at the balance of this game, I think it's really been a Rushmoor win rather than the receivers on the right side were just standing around doing nothing. They definitely knew the play wasn't coming to them, but then there wasn't a second guy on that side to make a play too. So I think the Portsmouth offence is really sort of scratching at straws, trying to come up with something to finish this game off right.
3rd and 10 in number 4, Paddy Conneray. He's back in. Chapman, sorry. Fires out to him, and it's just in front of him, so an incomplete pass. And that brings up 4th down. They've got to go for it on 4th down here, right?
I mean, I don't know, if you're the field goal kicker, you might want some stats, but I think you probably try for 6 here.
He could absolutely, he's good enough for it at this distance, but I think it makes sense that they go for it.
I wonder if we see the classic Brit ball make him jump play.
Yeah. Now it fires out to his left, hit the player's hands in the flat, and there's a little bit of afters because there was contact made, but that contact was fine.
It was quite late, I would say, but also
not
enough
do you think
to...
it was slow?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
He dropped the ball a good few steps before he got to him, but this is a game of football. What do you expect?
Yeah, it's not boiling over too much here. There's just a little bit of a scrum, everyone running to pull everyone else off.
A lot of talking, not a lot of walking.
Yeah. See, if that was me, I'd be swinging punches, headbutting people. No, I wouldn't. There's a flag. That's 0 again. That's his 2nd unsportsmanlike. He'll get sent off. He's ejected. He got the unsportsmanlike earlier in the I think 2nd quarter.
Wow.
Yeah, he's ejected. Let's see if the refs pick up on it.
It's interesting because you see this Rushmoor team, they really do have this this sort of air of confidence about them. They definitely think that they're going to be riding high. You definitely expect them to have a home playoff game, assuming that they play at the level we expect of them the rest of the way this year. Have that sort of level of confidence we go for it.
So he just called it unsportsmanlike the other way. So on their... It was 4th down, but they've actually gained 15 yards. So it's 1st down for the Rushmoor Knights going the other way. I wasn't expecting that. It looked like it was because the referee was walking 0 away, and it looked like he'd just straight after it had been thrown. But fair enough.
Yeah, it's very hard to see what was going on in that pile there. And we've got a new quarterback in for Rushmoor, number 4.
Boo! I was joking. So ball handed onto the hip of the running back, but he brings it round.
Yeah, I think there's something that's really underrated about Calvin is that it opens up everybody else's lanes in the run game. Because if you're having to contain him, then that's a real problem that you've got to deal with, and it makes it a lot harder to obviously take away the other options they have. But now they've put in this other quarterback. Don't want to judge incorrectly, but he doesn't look quite as athletic as Calvin did in there. I saw him in warm-ups. He didn't exactly seem like he ran a 4.540.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes it a bit easier to come down heavy on the running back and contain them here.
So that's a 2-minute warning. So there's 2 minutes left in the game. And the Knights have got the ball second and 8.
I think short of a miracle, we're probably running out the clock here, but can always be surprised.
QB keeps it, scrambles around, gets caught in the backfield. Took a headshot there, but I don't know if he made any yards. Oh, it looks like
I think he just about fell forward
3 or
for
4,
maybe a
yeah.
yard.
Sorry, 1 or 2.
Yeah, as we see, when we saw Calvin in a similar situation, he's able to press the edge, he's able to dupe people and make tackles. He managed to not get caught quite in the grasp, but doesn't quite have that same breakaway speed to get the positive yards after.
Calvin would have scored. QB drops back, looks to his right, fires to his right. Intended receiver catches it and keeps hold of it for a 1st down.
And that's a good solid play there.
That's number 85 for the Knights. I don't know who that is. Do you know what 85 is? I'll make sure I got one for the next game, Maria. I did ask for one, so we can. No problem. Here we are, game day, and we don't have a roster. Anyway, the Knights have just called a timeout. I didn't know how many they've got left in the game, but
I think it's either one or none.
Yeah.
Because they had that previous timeout called earlier on that punt.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely only a miracle that could bring Portsmouth back into this game at this point. But do stay to see if there's any afters in the handshake line.
We'll do our best. Bring you the best fights in Britball. But yeah, as this game comes to an end, we've got the game between Somerset and Bristol being played. That was a bit of a late kickoff because of injuries to the game before. Who's the running back now? Is that Harv?
No, it's number 26.
I don't know who. Yeah, the Knights are bringing on their backup players now, and I don't know their names.
Except on the O-line. The O-line's still out there strong. Still
they don't have a backup O-line.
Honestly, I've been really impressed with them. I mean, you didn't ask me for a player of the game. I'm not going to give you one. I'm just going to say that the Rushmoor offensive line as a unit, I think is
number
really...
75, Dan Hatcher is man of the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because I like him.
Do you not like the other four?
Nah, I didn't know. I just said I like him.
No, I think they've done a really good job as a unit, and you can see even on these final plays, they're still pushing through. They don't need the extra yards, but they're going to take them. That's a real mentality thing, and that's the kind of thing that bleeds through into the other games this season.
But the Knights are calling timeouts. That's the second time they just called another timeout. I don't get that.
Well, that's an interesting way for them to put a target on their back going forward.
I don't know why I do that. Just run the game out.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I fancy a beer.
Yeah, I'm cold. I'll go home.
No, I mean, maybe they just want to savour a few extra seconds of this because it's a nice feeling to win game one.
Why are you trying to be nice? It's not a good thing to call a timeout when you're. This should be called for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do. Agree.
I know we are going to be here a lot this season, so it's all right. I know the Knight. They like me. We're good. But when play does resume, it's 3rd and 2. Ball is on it's in Portsmouth territory on around the 36-yard line, I'd say.
They should be able to end the game here, really. I would be stunned based on the rest of the game if they can't get 2 yards here. This Portsmouth defence does look very tired.
Everyone just wants to go home, don't they? Everyone just wants to go home and enjoy the rest of their Sunday evening.
What's left of it?
Yeah, exactly. We've got work tomorrow that we're dreading. So ball handed off there to running back. Yeah. Met nicely at the line of scrimmage. He looks like he does manage to drive through though. Nice hard run from him there to pick up the first down.
We see there, we were talking about the tiredness. 51 was in the hole, had no competition and just could not make the tackle. It's been a very long day for that Portsmouth D-line.
That's it, that's game. Here we go. Just wait for him to hold it up above his head. Yeah. Full time. So, that's full time here. Sorry, I keep saying Farnham. Rushmoor Knights 33, Portsmouth Dreadnoughts 14 in week 1 of this 2024 season. What's your summary of the game if you've got one?
I think it's an interesting scoreline to finish on. I think that the last couple of scores did sort of flatter Rushmoor a bit in terms of the final score. However, I do think that they did put together a really strong overall game.
Yeah.
I think that their offence looks a lot more feisty than I thought it might have been coming into the year. I think their defence looks quite tight. I think I was expecting Portsmouth's offence to maybe bring a little bit more to this game. I think from what I saw, I didn't think that they've got a bad offence. They left a lot of meat on the bone. Yeah. And I think that these next couple of games are going to be really important to maybe iron those out and we'll maybe start to get a bit
I think it's a promising performance from Portsmouth. I know they're the losers today, but this team isn't a bad team. And there's this gelling that needs to happen with them that you can see. And I think the return, I don't know when the return fixture of this is, but I think when there is one, if it's sort of mid-season, it probably won't be this close of a game.
No, they've got the playmakers. They've got a good system in place. They just weren't all on the same page, and I think that those are things that you can improve. Those are things that you can work on. So I think going forward, I think Rushmoor definitely cream in this division from what I've seen today. I think that more than anything, it's just going to be pushing themselves to make sure that they keep stretching themselves to be A1 ready for the playoffs when they come round, assuming nothing goes majorly downhill before then.
Yeah.
And I think from Portsmouth's point of view, they definitely put a lot of good things out there to build on. There's definitely some fundamental issues. Like I think defensively, you look at the way they played. I think that there were just certain areas of the field that they give up that they've got to tighten it up, because they can't be giving up the middle of the field so much. Their backers seem to be caught in no man's land where they're not necessarily flowing down to the run, but they're not necessarily taking away things in the pass game. So what are they really doing? I think they maybe need to iron those bits out. But there's definitely a lot of strong foundations there. For a team that wasn't promoted to Division 2 because they won Division 2, you know, they were up on divisional realignment. I think they've clearly done a great job of recruiting and building things up, and they can be really proud of the performance they put out there today. But maybe not quite challenging for the top of the division just yet, but let's see where they are in a few games' time.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Right, well, thank you for tuning in. If you're still here, we will be back next week with 2 more games. So I'll be here, you'll be here with me for the Wembley game, and then I don't know where Tebbs is, but we'll post it on the website.